All right, we're live. First, I want to make sure everybody can hear me. This is my first time using StreamYard in like probably 5 months, 5 or 6 months. I had to switch back to StreamYard at least for now because I wasn't able to see the chat using the other streaming software that I was using. But we're gonna start this off. We're gonna have Kid Blue joining pretty soon. We'll have probably the hub on here pretty soon. But for now, I'll just get into it. I see we got James White Jr. in the chat. I can actually put my comments on the screen, unlike this past draft weekend where I wasn't able to do that. But James White says he believes that the Giants knocked the draft out of the park. I mean, I don't think there's any way you can describe it any better. I mean, we literally came into this draft. A lot of people wanted John Michael Schmitz at 25. A lot of people wanted Deonte Banks at 25. And then a lot of people, not as many people, but some people wanted Jalen Hyatt at 25. What's going on, Lucas? What's going on, Andrew? And as I was just saying, like a lot of people wanted not Jordan Hyatt, they wanted Jalen Hyatt at 25. Like I was going back and forth with people probably even during the draft stream where I was saying at this point, I really want Jordan Addison on the team. And some people were saying, no, I don't want Jordan Addison. I want Jalen Hyatt. Well, guess what? I'd rather have Deonte Banks and Jalen Hyatt in the third round than Jordan Addison and whatever cornerback was going to be in the third round. That's the equivalent of who was there, because the value right there is ridiculous. We got three guys who were mocked to us at 25. Now, I'm not a guy who's been against Jalen Hyatt as much as some other people have been. Let's see if I can get KB the link. I thought I gave him the link. Let's see. Is the link not working that I DM'd, or did it just not go through? This is my signature move. I sent the message and I said, got it set to start at 7:15, and I didn't include the link. That's just so me. That's so me. That's just so me. Knowing me, I probably left the StreamYard link. I probably linked the StreamYard link somewhere else. But I sent the link now, so you all should have it. That is really strange. But and I'll get to that, Philip. I'll get to that. The undrafted wide receiver. What's going on? We got Kush. What's going on? It's been a while since we've been on stream. It's been like months, maybe.
How y'all doing, man? Shout out to everybody in the chat. What up, Diggy? How you been? It has been a couple months. My last
it's been a while.
episode was like January 20-something. It was like after the playoff game. I'm saying quick update. I just been focused. It's my last semester, so I've just been focusing on that. That's honestly been 90% what I've been doing. Just my last semester. I'm graduating exactly. I'm graduating exactly a month from now, May 30th. And then I'm also
everybody hit the hub with some congratulations.
Thank you. And then I'm also going full time at my job. I was on the on draft day. I was on KB stream, and I told him I'm kind of in the same position he was for like a 2 to 3 year period, where when he hit full time at the postal service, and he was just literally busy 24/7. The man was like missing from YouTube a lot. So that's where I'm at right now, basically.
Same thing for me. If you've been looking at my channel for like the last probably 10 months, probably, to be honest with you, I've just been really inconsistent, and it's been the same thing, just work. Just consulting is not, it's really taxing to where like even if you're not working after work, you don't feel like doing anything.
And it's I got mixed feelings about it, because like for the first time in 10 years, obviously we're actually a really good team and a good ran team. Like we about to talk about the draft just now, obviously, but it's like I'm 50-50. Because half of me, I'm like, damn, we were all content creators when we were struggling, and our team was ass and the management was terrible. And now it's good you tell me I can't cover it. But at the same time, at the same time though, I'm like, yo, hold up. I can enjoy it just as purely as a fan. You know what I'm saying? Like I sat back and watched the draft as a fan. I'm about to sit back and probably watch come September, unfortunately, just as a fan, not really as a YouTuber or anything.
Yeah, I mean the
Facts.
same thing. Sometimes you do just kind of want to sit down, and I did that a couple of times this season, and I
Hmm.
can't say I regret it. It's pretty fun to just sometimes watch without the added in pressure. But
Exactly.
yeah, I mean that's a whole different discussion we can get to as far as like the team seeming that they're better now. Because I would say like all three of our channels probably like during the height of us just being a laughing stock, our channels are moving. Like
Yo,
they're
Yeah.
yo,
like
back in like 2019, my channel like views, subs, all subscribe, all of that just skyrocketed, and now it's just like I don't know. But
like I could
Forget
upload a video
2019.
about Daniel Jones's shoelaces and I would get like 4,000 views.
Forget
I thought
2019,
I
bro.
was the only one. I
2020.
thought I was the only one that thought that. I'm like,
2020 with Joe Judge had us like in a bind, bro. And I was out here running laps for this man. Oh nah, my channel was popping, bro.
yeah, that's true. 2020 was a good year too. Yeah, my stomach hurt.
And we'll get
Yeah,
into
he's out of here, bro.
Nah,
get into
man.
that. But let's just address the elephant in the room. What did you all think of the draft? We can start off with Kush. What did you think of the draft as a whole? And I'll get to the next question after you all answer this first one.
I mean, just another like not even any type of meme. Just another masterclass, in my opinion, by Joe Shane. Like last year, I loved the draft just off the first round where we had picks 5 and 7, Kayvon and Evan Neal, probably our two biggest needs with two of the best players in the draft. They were both at one point mocked #1 overall. This year, our three biggest needs, in no particular order, right? Wide receiver, inside lineman, corner. Without a doubt, our three biggest needs. Fulfilled that in the first 3 rounds with three players that were all mocked to us at 25. Like that's the best part. It's value, right? And while we all of us agree here, PFF isn't the end all be all. For most of the time, they're kind of like you just don't look at it. But we were, I think, I don't know if it was them or another side that said we had the most valuable draft. Like we got players
Yeah.
way past where they were expected to go, which was something great. And just off of that alone, it was an amazing draft. Then of course we still got, I think, a little bit more depth at the cornerback position later on. We picked up a very much needed backup running back. From what I've seen, looks like he could be a good bruiser back. I think, did we get another inside offensive lineman, another guard, in the later round? Or
No, we
was
got a defensive tackle.
defensive tackle was what we got, which was
Jordan
yeah,
Knows,
something.
yeah.
which was also something else that was neat. I remember talking a bunch last year. I'm like, yo, our defensive tackle room is kind of depleted. Yo, we need some bodies in there. So he just kind of hit everything. And when you consider that with the entire offseason so far with free agency where we didn't spend too much money, I'm like, this was just really good. How did it happen?
Yeah, and for me, when it comes to this draft, I definitely am coming out of this draft a lot happier than I did in the previous one. I know, like Kush mentioned, the first two first-round picks was great. I mean, but at the same time, like my grandmother could have chosen Kayvon and Evan Neal, fifth and seventh. So I really wanted, towards the end of the draft or second round starting, we were kind of questioning a lot of the picks and questioning the philosophy in Joe Shane's drafting ability. But then obviously we caught on. But in this draft, I feel a lot better. I feel a lot better. When it came to the first 3 rounds, the Giants hit exactly the exact positions at the exact spots I thought they were. I thought they're going to go corner, then center, and then wide receiver. The players weren't all matched up. I predicted Deontay Banks, but the rest, I mean, I was, listen, I'm not a Jalen Hyatt guy. I'm really not. But
You remember what I said in round one, like towards the end of the stream round one where you had
yeah.
me on? I was like, yo, if we could get John Michael Schmitz and then Jalen Hyatt, that would be crazy. That's exactly what happened.
Bro, and I'm not a Hyatt guy, but I can see the vision. I can see the vision, and I'm on board with it. I definitely have to give this draft an A. I had it as like I don't have it as like one of the best drafts in this year's draft, just because of, I guess, the top 3 were great. Then towards the middle is like, okay, you can see they're trying to fill some holes. I definitely don't think they were like an A+ draft, like up there, like what the Steelers had or what the Colts had or the Eagles. But it's very solid, very good draft. A- in my opinion, or A. And talking about the later picks, Diggy was telling me about Eric Gray, and from the limited limited film I watched from him, I was like, yeah, I mean, is he really better than Brightwell? But I watched 3 full games of this guy, all 22, and yeah, I definitely like him. He's cutback king, bro. That guy's a beast. And then talk about Trey Hawkins as well. Later rounds, possibly going to be a gunner just from what I seen on his athletics scores and stuff like that. And then the nose tackle I feel like was needed because he was he's a rare position now. Like being a nose tackle is kind of rare now, and we still use the nose tackle position in our defense. And with DJ Davison coming off of injury, we really don't have another pure nose besides Dexter Lawrence, who can go anywhere else besides nose. He can go anywhere too. So we just needed some depth there, so I'm okay with it. And then Javarius Owens. He's a fun little playmaker at safety who I don't mind taking a chance on. So it was a good draft, solid draft, very good draft, especially in the early rounds.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, I started the stream talking about like we got mocked. We literally got mocked, all 3 of these players at 25.
I know.
And like, I'm not a Jalen Hyatt. Like, I had my receiver rankings were Addison, JSN, Zay Flowers, and then maybe it was pretty much a cluster there for me. Like, there wasn't that much separation, and that's why I was so like hell bent on trading up for Jordan Addison or whoever was there, because I felt like there was a drop off. But if someone were to like tell you before the draft, like you can either have Jordan Addison, or you can either have Zay Flowers, or you can have Deonte Banks and Jalen Hyatt, I would take the second option just because, like I said it before, if we took Jalen Hyatt, it would be because Hyatt. So at that point, I'm not really worried about
messed
that.
Up, so we didn't really hear what you said that part.
You're good now. Just
are you hearing me now?
Yeah.
I just saw some bar start loading on this left side of my screen. I don't know what that was, but apparently it killed my mic. But I just felt that if we were going to take Jalen Hyatt, we were going to have a plan for him. And it seems like we do, because Dable initiated that trade. So Dable's not going to initiate that trade if he doesn't already have in his mind. And like, as soon as I was really against Jalen Hyatt until we got Darren Waller. Once we got Darren Waller, I was like, we're missing someone who can really, really stretch the field, like who lines up and you're like, that dude scares me just because he's fast. Like, even if he drops the ball, it's just dangerous that he's out there. Like,
so legit question. Just because obviously I haven't really had a chance to actually look at these players like I have in the past couple of years, and so is he like way faster than Slayton or something?
He's
game speed.
He ran a 4.41.
Don't look at his 40. Yeah, don't look at his 40.
And Darius Slayton ran a 4.39. But if you look at Jalen Hyatt on tape,
he just blows past
you. I'm telling you, he's faster to me than Jalen Waddle is on tape. And Jalen Waddle is like fast. They call him the Houston Rocket.
Very fast. Yeah.
Like Hendon Hooker would see Jalen Hyatt with 10 yards of cushion. The cornerback would have 10 yards of cushion, and he would just throw it up just downfield. And Jalen Hyatt just like right by him, like he's standing still. And if that's all he can do, he's a threat in this offense, because you got Wan'Dale underneath. You got Hodgins, who's going to be a possession receiver. You got why am I forgetting our tight end? Darren Waller. You got all these guys that are working this short area to mid area of the field, and he's going to stretch the field, even if he just comes out and runs a streak and then a post.
Safeties. Yeah,
a streak. Yeah.
Oh no, I was just gonna say real quick. Shout out to Lucas Cresley, Alex. There's an Optimus Prime in there, man. Lamar, everybody else in here, world champ. Like, I just remember a lot of these people. But one thing I noticed with our draft is we drafted a lot of players for athleticism, and in my opinion, even though it's a 1-year sample size, I feel safe in saying that we have a good coaching staff where they can take raw athleticism and actually try and coach it up to be good players. Like, I noticed that if you looked at it, Deonte Banks, probably the most athletic corner in the class. Jalen Hyatt, probably one of the more fast dudes in the class. He needs, to improve his route tree and stuff like that. Even down to, I think, Trey Hawkins, not necessarily an athlete, but a guy known for like the more raw measurables. Like he's really violent on the field and stuff. Like we drafted guys in that vein, and I do have faith in the coaching staff to coach them up. What do you guys think about that? Do you think that was like intentional or like
Oh
did it
well, they
just fall
said it
that
was
way?
Oh, for
intentional.
sure.
Joe
Did it?
Shane
Okay,
said
bet.
that they wanted to get faster this year on all sides of the
Mhm.
ball,
And they
and that's
got
definitely what they
and
did.
they went crazy on offense, especially. But yeah, going back to Hyatt, he's interesting to watch because he's not a route runner at all. Like I've seen him run routes and he's just not good at it at all. But he's got a rare ability of slashing through a zone and not slowing down. Like I seen him one time run a out and up, and he did not even slow down for a second. Like he rounded that route and blew right past that corner. I don't even think the corner knew what the hell happened. Like he constantly does that. You look at his film obviously against Alabama, probably one of his like go-to films to watch. He could have had 2 more touchdowns in that game, but Hendon Hooker underthrew him on one of those throws. So I mean, he just blows right by you. He doesn't need to run routes on you. And honestly, with the guys that we have on our roster, we don't even need him to run routes. He could have a specific role. He's not coming into this offense. If you were to draft him with the first round pick, you're basically saying he's your number one receiver or potential to be. You're drafting him in a third round where he doesn't need. It's showing he doesn't need to be your number one guy. He can be a role player and still have success in this offense. And with Brian Daboll and the offense that we run here, with a lot of route concepts and route combinations where a lot of wide receivers are working together to get open. This really tells me that they're going to change things up when they draft Jalin Hyatt and they're going to air the ball deep. Like I don't think we would draft Jalin Hyatt if we were going to keep the same offense we ran last year. So that tells me that they're changing things up.
I kind of disagree a little bit. Just off the principle of what you're saying, which is change the offense up. Let's not forget that as the year went on, we did end up airing the ball a lot more.
Oh yeah,
like
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't even say it's a change up as it is just continuing what Kafka did over the course of the season last year.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, definitely a continuation.
We never tested safeties though. We just didn't do it. We didn't test safeties.
I
always
agree.
ran those mesh
I think it was in time though, and that's why I'm still calling it a continuation rather than changing it up. Like even the playoff, like against the Vikings, we aired the ball out a ton against them. I will say though, going off of the wide receiver, one thing you brought up, KB, good point. I saw this on Twitter. Can't remember who said it, but I completely agreed with the tweet where they were like, it's clear the front office kind of just they looked at free agency. They didn't necessarily see anybody that they want to take a chance on or to trade market. That's why they did trade for Darren Waller. They brought in somebody when healthy that can be an elite top 10 potential top 5 tight end in the league that is like a legitimate receiving threat. I do think they saw wide receiver 1 potential in one of those guys that went from the 20s to 24. I think for sure they saw wide receiver 1 potential in there. But as soon as that one of those guys were gone, whether it's Addison, Flowers, whoever, I think they pivoted and they just went into getting these athletic guys to have just a good wide receiver room. Like we have a good wide receiver room now. It's just that we don't have necessarily a number one, but that's not a bad thing.
Right?
We have what I think could be a really, really good. Yeah, I think
this is something that's true. I was just saying that is another thing that's true, is that he was really good after a catch, and it wasn't necessarily because he's agile. It's because he catches the ball while he's running, and you're not going to catch that dude.
He never slows down. He doesn't slow down. You need to hit him in stride. Yeah,
exactly. So like we have a tight end duo, a low key. Like I called it I don't know if you guys remember this. On one of my last streams I ever did, I was like, we got baby Gronk and Aaron Hernandez in our tight end group. That's what I see when I look at Darren Waller and our boy Daniel Bellinger, man. Like I'm being so serious. And then we have just a group of really, really good wide receivers. Maybe Jalin Hyatt could somehow, some way explode. I'm not banking on it, but maybe he could somehow explode into somebody that has the potential to be 1,000-yard receiver. But, you have Hyatt, you have Wan'Dale, you have Isaiah Hodgins, who I think people are forgetting about. Like, I'm not saying he's going to be a superstar, but he 100% has star potential, looked like, in my opinion.
At least a wide receiver, too. And I think that this is like, you're making a good point there as far as we don't have a guy that's like, besides Darren Waller, who I think is being like, people are continuing to forget about this, that Travis Kelce is the wide receiver 1. He's the option 1. And Waller, at his height, is about 80% of Travis Kelce, which is an all-pro player. So with Waller being that number 1 target, if he lives up to that and he's not, injury prone and everything like that, then we're completely set, because you add Slayton, and I don't know why I said Slayton first, but you had Hodgins,
Slayton
you
still
had
got speed,
Slayton,
man.
you had Paris Campbell, and then you add a
Speed.
complimentary piece like Hyatt, and then you have Wan'Dale Robinson. What if Sterling Shepard is healthy? That is 6 players. And
That's what
then
I'm
you
saying.
throw
Like,
in,
when you start listing off wide receivers, I think we got at least 7 that could fall into the good to really good box. And now you're just like, all right, who's actually going to be? I think this is a good question to ask you guys. Who's your like first 3 out of that room? Let's like first off,
it's
let's talk
hard. I
about
don't
them.
think there's going to be a first 3. I
Yeah,
think
you know
it's
what I'm saying?
Yeah,
going
Like,
to
you're
who
be
is
gonna
the
open
first
rotate him
season
3?
in.
until I think Hodgins, like if you're telling me to roll the team out there or what I think it'll happen, I think your 3 out there is going to be Hodgins because of the chemistry with Daniel Jones, Slayton because of the chemistry with Daniel Jones, and then Wan'Dale if he's healthy, but I don't think he'll be healthy. So you'll probably see Hodgins on one side, Slayton on the other side, and Paris Campbell in the slot because he played a lot of slots. So I
How
think that's how
long?
we'll start off.
How long is Wandale supposed to be out for? Actually,
No idea. He could be ready. He could not be ready.
He
yeah,
tore his ACL like mid-season, so he
Late
might
in the
not be
because
ready
yeah.
till mid-season next
I'm
year.
not one to change up how I reacted, but I was never the biggest fan of Wandale pick. But like, obviously, I love the guy. He's a giant. He works hard and all that. But in the game that he got injured was his best game. That's why I'm like, yo, I don't necessarily want to forget about this guy, Wandale. But damn, I didn't realize the
100
injury
yards.
was gonna take him out that long.
Yeah, because he got
And
he got
yeah,
hurt
I
in that
mean,
Detroit game, right?
Yeah,
he had 100 yards and like on the catch they got him over 100. He tore his ACL.
He got
Yep.
100
But,
exactly 100,
exactly.
and he was the first person to get 100, and then he's at I'm
And
out.
it was finally a good performance from a wide receiver, and it's over. And I was
we can never
heated.
have nice
But
things. That's what it is.
I don't know, because you haven't been able to watch a bunch of Jalen Hyatt stuff.
Mhm.
But KB, I would say, what do you think of this comparison? I think I've said it before, but I think the perfect comparison. A lot of people say Tyreek Hill. I mean, that's not a comparison. Tyreek Hill is a different animal. Deshaun Jackson, their build is similar. They're both fast, but Deshaun Jackson is a punt returner. He's agile. He's shifty.
Yeah,
Jalen Hyatt is not shifty.
He's a straight line
I say that
runner,
their perfect comparison is Mike Williams from the Steelers about 15 years ago, whenever he was still playing. Mike Williams or Mike Wallace.
Wallace. Yeah. Okay.
And then Ted Ginn with Cam Newton.
I literally said
Ted Ginn is even
skills.
though I haven't seen much of him, Ted Ginn, I like immediately.
But he's Ted Ginn with better ball skills because Jalen Hyatt, one thing he can do, he's not the best route runner, but he does have natural, really good ball skills. He can go up and high point, and he catches everything. So that's also something to remember.
Ted Ginn is really good. I actually thought the same thing when I was looking at him on film before the draft, and I was thinking because I heard a lot of Deshaun Jackson, but Jackson can run horizontally. Jackson could do a lot of those things, but I was like, Ted Ginn might be a good comparison. Ted Ginn couldn't catch for anything, but his style is very similar. And Mike Wallace is a good one too. Mike Wallace is something I didn't think about Mike Wallace, but yeah, that's a good one too. Oh yeah.
So the next question is, we might have already spoiled it, but my next question will be, what are you all's favorite pick this draft?
Ooh, that's a good one. I would have to say Deontay.
Wait a second, before you start, I can't let this slide, Optimus. Deshaun Jackson did not have a route tree.
No,
he didn't have a route tree either. He ran a streak, he ran a post, he ran a screen and a comeback, and he was fast.
Where did he go to school?
He went to Cal.
Oh, so they got air raid over there. They run.
He went with Aaron Rodgers.
Oh damn.
Or he was after Aaron Rodgers, but yeah.
But
finish what you were saying.
Kid Blue's a hater. Yeah.
Shout out Meet the Mets.
Big hater here. Meet the Mets. But my favorite pick would have to be Deontay Banks. I know it's like cliche to go with the first round pick, but he's the guy that I had my eye on this whole draft process. If there wasn't a receiver on the board, well, even if he's just the guy that I think could develop into our number one cornerback when Adoree eventually leaves, and just for the future, I think he's going to be a fine, like plug and play number 2 corner. He is perfect for Wink Martindale's system. The reason why a lot of people got confused in the draft process, and they said, "Oh, well, Deonte Banks is a perfect Baltimore Raven corner." People are saying that because of Wink Martindale's system, but they don't realize that Wink Martindale's on the Giants. That's really what
Marlon Humphrey 2.0.
I would hope so. He doesn't play the run like Marlon Humphrey, but I would hope so. Marlon Humphrey's one of my favorite prospects.
He might be able to after a couple years. He
hopefully.
does.
He's
not shy about the run.
He's a willing tackler,
and he's actually a good tackler.
Yeah, he's a good tackler, and he's not shy of that at all. And he knows how to throw his weight around. So, yeah, Deonte Banks is probably the one I'm more excited about. John Michael Schmitz is one of those guys that is kind of gives you relief a bit on a position that we desperately needed. So I could see the excitement on that. And Hyatt obviously is going to be the highlight play guy. So it'll be completely I guess reasonable for anybody to say any of those three picks because they are probably going to make a big impact on the team in this season.
So for me, you said your answer was Deonte Banks, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even saying this to for the sake of saying something different so that we're not stale.
Sake of argument, yeah.
Legitimately, my favorite pick is John Michael Schmitz, because everybody knows, every single Giants fan, if you just have a single brain cell at least and watch the team, for 6 years now, at least, maybe even more than 6 years.
Hold on,
haven't had
let me cut you off real
legit
quick.
Center. Go ahead.
Exactly what you said.
Shout out to Dash.
Yeah, I was just about to mention Dash. Give a shout out to Dash, dude. Every time we mention John Michael Schmitz, Dash pops up out of nowhere. I swear, dude. We did this in a Twitter space yesterday. The first time we talked about John Michael Schmitz, Dash popped up in the Twitter space. So shout out to Dash. Shout out to John Michael Smith. My bad, Kush. I just wanted to throw that out there.
No, yeah, I was just gonna say everybody knew. I would say for at least 6 years, maybe for 10 years, depending how you look at it, we haven't had a legit center. And I'm sorry, Nick Gates. This is not even to say to offend you. I mean, I got your autograph and everything, but I always preferred him at guard more than center. That's just me. And then of course he had the horrific injury. So it's we haven't had a true center in a long time. And there's been drafts. It's been at least 3 drafts where there's been a true consensus number one center where we've had a chance to take them and we just didn't take them. Creed Humphrey comes to mind, and that guy that ended up going in, Cesar Ruiz comes to mind. And I'm just so finally happy that we got the number one center. I think the undisputed number one center.
You didn't
everybody said Price, this guy is a plug and play, and it's just we actually got him. But the reason it's my favorite pick, KB, is because even though I wanted him so bad, I wanted a true center so bad, I recognize the fact that you're not spending a first round pick on a center unless you're the Chiefs like they did with Creed Humphrey. It's one of those things.
Second rounder too.
Oh, he was a second rounder. It's one of those things where it's I actually agree with the positional value argument. I'm you could find a great center in the second and third round, and so it's things just lined up. I really think center was our biggest need. I don't think it was close with wide receiver or cornerback. I think it was center. And I'm glad it lined up where we didn't need to spend a first round pick on it, and we still got the best guy.
And we didn't need to trade up like we did with the other 2 picks,
mm-hmm.
like we did with Hyatt and Deonte Banks. We traded up for those guys, and Smith is the best center on the board. Shout out to the Jets for taking Joe Tippmann at 43. They needed a center. They were one of the threats to take John Michael Schmitz, and we ended up with him not having to trade up. I wanted to ask you guys, what do you guys think about all the trades that we did and how much picks we lost? Because a lot of people on Twitter were freaking pissed, bro. They were pissed. I can understand the 4th round pick for moving out for Hyatt. I can understand that's reasonable. At the same time,
if you don't like Hyatt and they use a 4th to go up and get him, then I can 100% under. But when we moved up, listen. First of all, let's use logic here. Let's not just talk about just anything. Let's use logic. If the Giants and Joe Schoen moved up from 25 to 24, do you really think he just did it just to do it? Just I just want to pick him at 24 instead of 25, and I could have still gotten him at 30. Do you really think that he just did it just to do it? Obviously, Joe Schoen had intel that either a team was going to move in front of us to take Deonte Banks, or that the Jaguars wanted to take Deonte Banks, and we'd have to give them some sort of compensation to go to the next player on their board. So that's why he used those picks. And second, a 5th and a 7th round pick. Do you know the guys that were drafted in place of those picks? Exactly. I posted on Twitter. I don't know who was drafted in those actual picks, but I posted on Twitter the last 10 5th round picks at that spot and the last 10 7th round picks. and none of them, maybe only like one or two of them, actually ended up being somebody. Like even special teamers. So those picks were really null and void in my opinion. A 5th and a 7th round pick to get a player that you feel strongly about. If Deonte Banks was on another team, would you trade a 5th and 7th round pick to get him right now?
Hell yeah.
Of course.
So
Hell yeah.
there's no reason to be upset.
And then I wanna clarify because I saw the chat come at me that night at KB's channel when we traded up. I was like, oh, now we traded up because I was saying that, guys, because Jordan Addison just went, and I was like, we could trade up to him. Trust me when I say I was more angry about the fact that why the hell didn't we trade up for Addison when he was clearly somebody on our board? It was literally Devontae Smith all over again for me. So that's where my anger was coming from. I'm not mad that we traded up and then we got Deonte Banks. I was mad, which, you know, hindsight 2020 with the first 3 picks ended up being, of course, I'll take this. Like Diggy proposed the situation earlier, I'll take this. But I was at the time, I was like, damn, we could have traded up and had Addison.
Yeah. By the way, quick little note: the players that were drafted in place of the picks that we traded was Stetson Bennett. That was a crazy reach. Antonio Johnson, the safety out of Texas A&M, who I despise.
A lot of people wanted him.
I couldn't stand. I hate him. I didn't like him. And then Derek Parrish, I don't even know who that is. Edge out of Houston with that 240.
Never heard of him in my life.
Garbage.
Guys that we'll never see on TV. That we'll never see on TV.
The reason why I was more relieved about Deonte Banks and Kush was mentioning it with Addison, like we should have traded up for Addison. I wanted to trade up for Gonzalez. Gonzalez kept falling, and I said this in a Twitter space. Nobody believed me. It was with Ash. I don't know if Dash was in there. I said it with a bunch of people in there. I said, I have a feeling Gonzalez will fall. Good players fall all the time. I have no reason for thinking that. Good players fall all the time for whatever reason. And I said, if Gonzalez falls past 12, I'm trading up to go get him. Because when it comes to out of the top 10, the draft capital you have to spend to get to where you want to get to after, out of the top 10 is not that much. You can sacrifice that to get a corner like Gonzalez. And I was so pissed we didn't get him, but I'm happy we traded up one spot to make sure we got the next guy up. And Deonte Banks was my number 3 corner. So that's why I was so happy. Yeah. Yep.
Same with me. And would you have traded away that 3rd round pick knowing that you wouldn't have been able to get a receiver in the 3rd round to go up and get Gonzalez if you could do it again?
Hell yes. I probably would.
I might do that too.
I love Hyatt. I mean, well, I don't love Hyatt, but I like that we drafted Hyatt. But Gonzalez is just head and shoulders better as a corner right now, and I think he has a future of being like number 1 corner like today, like right now.
Gonzalez is a monster, man. Yeah. Like when I saw him falling, I was saying that on Twitter. I was like, trade up right now. And I'm the person that's like said, like, no, we need to get Jordan Addison no matter what. Take Jordan Addison. But as soon as I saw Gonzalez go past like 12, I was like,
Detroit,
what's going on?
Yeah. Well, they got Jahmyr Gibbs over Gonzalez.
Detroit could have had Christian Gonzalez,
bro.
Jack
Campbell, did you see the reaction? Did you see the reaction of the Detroit GM? This man was acting as if like the 31 teams was like
crazy
for Jahmyr Gibbs, yo.
Yeah, Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell went crazy when they dropped the Jahmyr Gibbs. Like they stole the guy of the draft. I said, my God. Oh my, I don't know. Man,
and the thing is, like, that's one of those picks where like he's 100% going to help them. Like he can be a receiver, he can be a running back, but it's just like you did not have any issues scoring last year. And then they'll say, well, Jameson Williams is going to be suspended. You didn't even have him last year. So you don't need
one catch
to replace a guy that you didn't have. And your defense was horrible. If they could have gotten literally Christian Gonzalez, Jack Campbell, and Brian Branch, that would be ridiculous. Like that's help at every single level of your defense almost.
What I say to a lot of people that just want to draft anybody for like need or whatever, or just because they like them, what I say all the time, and I'm going to be a little bit like exaggeratory or whatever. I'm going to exaggerate a little bit. So if you like a guy that's like a projected a 4th round pick, but you think this guy's going to be wearing a gold jacket by the end of his career, you're not going to draft him in the 1st round because you think that. You have to think about the positional value. If they really love Jahmyr Gibbs that bad, they still have to look at the market of where he falls at, so you can pick up other guys that may get picked up before you do. So like a guy like Gonzalez, he's highly like looked at, right? He's not going to fall to the second round. Whether a Jahmyr Gibbs will fall to a second round. If you want to trade back into the first, that's on you. Then you could pick up a Jahmyr Gibbs. But just because you may feel Jahmyr Gibbs may be a gold jacket type guy, doesn't mean you need to draft him 12th overall. If he's a second round prospect, it just doesn't make sense. So
yeah, I think somebody would have taken them in the 20s, but still, like, their defense needs so much help, and it's just like you had Swift. Like, there was no point. They did it for just.
Did they even, besides Brian Branch, because he's going to be a defensive back all over the place, did they even draft a cornerback? Because they have like after those corners are on like 1-year deals that they signed, so they're not even like going to be there for the long term.
And the funny thing to me was like the Vikings fans like attacking me because I said they needed defensive help, and they're just. I really wish that we played the Vikings this year because they're just so great at cornerback. They don't need any help there.
Oh my God, their corners are garbage, bro. They have Byron.
We have Andrew Booth. Okay,
right. I like Booth. And Booth was coming off an injury in his rookie year, right? So he's like, do they even know what they're getting in this guy? I don't even know.
They don't know anything. They're going to be bad again next year. They got
Byron Murphy, who they paid like over $10 million to, I think.
Like Byron Murphy he's not that guy.
Right. And he's a nickel guy. He's not even an outside dude. So I don't even know what they're talking about. They should have drafted a corner. They already have a head start with Justin Jefferson.
This site gave them a D+ for taking Jahmyr Gibbs.
Who?
A D+ is such a weird grade. I don't think I've ever seen a team get a D+ for Okay, let's see. They didn't take any corners.
Yeah,
Brian Branch is the only DB they got.
That's crazy.
Then they took Hendon Hooker. And then they're like, why did they take Hendon Hooker?
Yo, Hendon Hooker's the worst spot. I feel bad for Hendon because he doesn't have a lot of time to prove himself. Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of time to prove himself. I'm sure he really wants to go to the Raiders because Jimmy G is going to get hurt. He's going to get his time 100%. To shine. And then Hendon Hooker will ball out, and then they kick Jimmy G out of there next year. But with Jared Goff there, as much as a lot of people like to hate on Jared Goff, he's good, and he's going to be
4,400 yards, 29 touchdowns, and 7 picks. Is that good enough for you?
Exactly. Like, he's going to be a solid starter. They like him over there. There's continuity. They're trying to build something over there. Jared Goff is going to be there a while. Even after his contract expires, they'll probably re-sign him. I don't think they're just going to let him go and just see what a 28, 29-year-old Hendon Hooker is going to do. So
I think that's their plan. I think
that would be ridiculous.
They came into this offseason. It looks like from what they did that they felt that they needed to get better on offense. That's what it looks like.
They had like the number 1, number 2 offense last year.
They had one of the best offenses and one of the worst defenses.
Let's read off their picks. Jahmyr Gibbs, running back. Jack Campbell, he's going to solidify the middle of the defense, but they still need DB help.
I don't even know why
they took a tight. Then they took a tight end with one of their two. They had 2 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks. And instead of going defense heavy, they took a running back and a tight end instead of taking
the 2 least valuable positions on offense.
Sam Laporta
over Michael Mayer, by the way. See, I see why they went Sam Laporta because they're going from one Iowa tight end to another. Maybe there's some continuity, familiarity there with scheme, right? Whatever. Maybe that's a reason. Maybe they see some TJ Hawkinson in him, but man. You take Sam Laporta over on Michael Mayer. You take Jack Campbell when you have a young stud that you're paying like pennies to, and Malcolm Rodriguez at linebacker right now with Alex Anzalone.
Highlight Jay. Yo, shout out to Jay.
Bro's gonna play his. Yeah, that's true, dude. He's gonna be 26 when the season starts. That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it makes no sense. Like if they think that like Jared Goff is a good quarterback, but we may want to move when his contract is over, it's just like. You pick the oldest possible quarterback that I think could be a starter, but you're going to have this dude sit. Like, it's a difference when, like, you're 22 and you're like, okay, I have to sit for 3 years.
Right.
But you're 26. Like, he's going to be upset. Like, I'm 28 years old and I haven't gotten to play, and that's should be able to play.
That's why I said that's the worst spot for Hendon Hooker, and it's bad for the Detroit Lions, too. It's just not going to be good. He should – If the Lions wanted to get an heir apparent in this draft, they should have drafted Anthony Richardson. They should have went up and traded up in this draft and gotten Anthony Richardson because he does need to sit a couple of years or maybe just 1 or 2 years, maybe it's something short. But you can say, hey, Jared Goff, we're gonna roll with our younger quarterback who has a higher ceiling. We're going to roll with him. You don't want to cut loose Jared Goff, who is somewhat productive for you, very productive for you, and then go with a 28-year-old quarterback who has not played an NFL snap yet. He's just,
I just
I
want to
don't
say
understand that.
something I completely forgot to say when we're talking about the wide receiver room, yo. David Sills, get ready to learn Chinese, buddy. Get ready to learn Chinese. No, get ready to learn.
He's playing in Hong Kong.
Get ready to learn French Canadian, buddy. He's playing for the Quebec, whatever the team is over there, man.
He could play in the Arena League. He could play quarterback in the Arena League.
Do Arena League still exist?
I don't know, but he
should play quarterback in the Arena League.
I remember it was this dude, and I'm completely off topic, but it was this dude. It was like an alternate universe Tom Brady, and the dude's name was like something Grady, and he was in the AFL, and he played for like 23 years, and he had like 300,000 yards. It was ridiculous.
Dude, David Sills is gonna be the best player on the Calgary Stampeders, bro. He's gonna be
David Sills, man. I guarantee you David Sills is gonna be on the Giants again because he follows Daniel Jones around.
Yeah, I was gonna say because he literally goes anywhere and everywhere to train with DJ. He's gonna be here.
You would think that they would actually have some sort of chemistry together, but no,
and they don't.
This is what David Sills route running is. It's just a bunch of this.
It's the breaking his knees.
It's nothing going on in the lower body. It's just a bunch of
his stutter steps are weird, bro. Oh man, they look like planks hitting the floor. That's what it just looks like.
Because it's like you add on that undrafted guy that we got for Western Michigan that's completely
he's taking his job. That's it.
It's like, is it David Sills for Western Michigan, bro? Like you got another dude from your alma mater is taking your job, bro.
West Virginia, yeah. Bryce.
Oh, West Virginia, yeah.
Whatever happened to Gary Jennings, man? I liked him over David Sills. I wanted him over David Sills.
Anybody over David, like.
Yeah, but he was the other West Virginia wide receiver that went in the same draft. I think he went to the Seahawks at first, but then he jumped around the league.
It's like ridiculous, man. Like, I don't understand how he keeps on coming back. Just the same way, like, it reminds me of Marcus Coon when he was on the roster. Like, because he practiced hard, he just got to stay here. I hope that this is the year. And then some people are already writing in. Some people are already writing in that Colin Johnson is going to be like our wide receiver 3. And it's like
he's gone.
He had a good offseason.
Listen, I like Colin Johnson. We have too good of a room now for him to even be in like the top 6.
Like one thing that people don't understand about this new New York Giants team, and I know we've been shit for so long. I don't know if I can cuss on here, but we've been garbage for so long in this team that people have been accustomed to just looking at sleeper guys on this roster and being, well, he can develop into something. Do you guys not understand? We made the playoffs last year and we're trying to build from that. We are not looking at sleeper guys, bro. We want guys that are going to be winning fast. We're not going to wait for David Sills, a former quarterback, to run some routes. We're not going to wait for Colin Johnson to maul somebody, bro.
We don't have sleeper guys. We have actual guys now. The next step is to get the guy, and I think that will come in time. But we have actual
Marvin
guys
Harrison
now.
Jr. is coming soon.
Like all of these people are better players than they just are. I mean, it stinks because we all wish that we had gotten to see Colin Johnson last year, but this year, like you got Paris Campbell, you got Darius Slayton. You got, unless you think that Sterling Shepard is not going to make this roster, which is possible.
It's possible he might be a practice squad guy, to be honest with you. Same
Sterling
thing with, I think they might put him on because he gets hurt so often, but I think they still want him up.
Sterling Shepard should just, like, not even being funny. Like, every time I say it, people laugh. But it's like, he should be the receiving coach.
Yeah, at least
he should literally just be the receiving coach or quality, because, like, I don't understand how much pain do you have to endure for you to continue to smile and say you want to be a Giant. Like,
that man blows out his knee and be like, "Let's go Giants!"
Blow out a knee and every time he tears, like, he's getting older.
Sterling Shepard is top 10 in receiving in Giants history. All right,
he's going to be here forever. Better every time. That's the weird part. Like you
Yeah.
tear
That's
your
true.
Achilles
That's
and you're
true.
getting older.
He does come back better for like that brief 2-3 week period that he's healthy. He comes
Yeah,
Man,
back
I was
better.
early. Shepard is a
2017,
monster, man.
2017 Shep was a nasty dude, bro. He was projected like 1,100 yards that
Shep
year.
Yeah, but
every year
20
has been nasty.
exactly. I was about to
Yeah.
say 2017 Shep doesn't compare to like 2021, the 3 weeks that
When
he
Yeah.
was
Shep put
healthy.
on that
Shep,
number
bro.
3, man. When Shep put on the number 3, it was
Yeah,
over.
he's
It
one
was
of my
over.
favorite Giants. That's no doubt about it. Like we were all arguing about it yesterday, Sal and Rob and me about Sterling Shepard. And as much as we love this guy, and he's one of my favorite Giants, man, he really is. But I mean, with this crowded wide receiving core right now, I don't think it'll be ideal to cut somebody with potential and leave Sterling Shepard on if he's not completely healthy. We have to see if he's completely healthy. And if he can't stay completely healthy, I wouldn't want to cut him. I would just give him a practice squad spot and just let him be a part of the team that way, because I still want him a part of this team. But bro, our receiving core is getting so stacked that Jamison Crowder, who we just signed, might just be cut. Like we just signed Jamison Crowder, and I really don't see a role for him right now. Unless
and the thing is, like, who's going to
Paris
play
Campbell
special
gets hurt
teams?
again. Yeah, unless Paris Campbell can't stay healthy, Jamison Crowder has kind of been more consistent in the league, so maybe he'll stay on because of that. But Paris Campbell is just better right now. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see what happens. But it can go any which direction with this wide receiving core, man.
Yeah, and I'm saying, like, somebody got to play special teams too. Like,
Yeah,
if these guys, like, that's how Darius Slayton almost got cut last year, because he's not a gunner. He's not a gunner.
right.
He's not a punt returner. He's not playing special teams, and it's like
I was about to say, with the talent that we have there now, I want to see like an actual punt or kick returner that I feel like is not a nobody. Does that make sense?
We don't have a dangerous punt or kick returner besides Khalil Pimpleton, who apparently was completely making our entire special teams look ridiculous, look awful and pitiful. But for some reason, he cannot get out there. He just can't get a jersey. And our special teams coordinator says, Pimpleton, we cannot tackle him. We can't get him down. We can't touch him. And they say, well, why hasn't he been in the games? He said, I have no idea. You have to ask coach.
Really?
And he's just still there. And he can't get the ball.
Well, because I remember when he was on the Lions Hard Knocks, he couldn't catch the ball. So I mean,
Well,
I don't know if that's changed, because he couldn't catch.
I don't think the special teams coordinator will put his like neck out there for a guy that can't field the punts.
Right.
So
right.
I think it's just maybe Brian Dable doesn't believe in just having a role just for a specialist that returns punts. He probably would rather have a guy that returns it 5 yards.
That's why I would really like for them to just take one of the actual wide receivers we have. We have like 7-8 wide receivers. Just put one of them at punt return if he doesn't believe in somebody being only like a returner.
Yeah, what do y'all think of the guy Wheaton that we brought in that's built like Randy Moss and went to West Virginia like Randy? No, Randy Moss went to school in West Virginia, but not West Virginia. He went to Marshall. But he's 6'4", runs a 4.3, jumps 41 inches off the ground, and makes acrobatic catches in his sleep. It's going to be tough for him to get onto the roster, but I'm excited to see how he looks. What do you all think of Wheaton for Wheaton?
I honestly think from what I've seen from him and what I heard from him, because I haven't watched film on him yet, but I watched highlights, and he just seems like, how the hell does this guy not get drafted? But I heard he has consistency issues. I heard that he has great game speed, but sometimes it looks like he can't separate from anybody. I heard inconsistent hands as well. He's like 8.8% drop rate, something like that, just what I'm remembering. So I think he has a real shot of making this practice squad. We'll see about the roster, because like you even said, we still need special teams guys, so we may even have to sacrifice a spot on the wide receiving core just for like a Jeff Smith to stay on the roster for special teams. So we'll see but he's just a great pickup, man. He's a guy that I would want to try to keep around, because I know you can sign other guys from practice squads and stuff. He's a guy you may want to put on the roster just to make sure he doesn't get signed by somebody. But
and that's the thing.
It's hard. It's hard. How are you gonna get him on there? Yeah.
The thing that comes to my head, and I'm not saying this is going to happen at all, but the thing that comes to my head is Corey Washington. And Corey Washington looked like an all-pro wide receiver.
In the
scored a touchdown in every game, but he couldn't play special teams, and he couldn't separate from starting
he was a
cornerback.
Possession guy. Yeah.
So if you see this guy, Wheaton Ford, go out there and score a touchdown in every game and run past people and look like a monster, he still may not make the team because they're going to go by what they see in practice. Is he going to do that against Adoree Jackson? Is he going to do it against even the Lions cornerback that we signed? And that kind of leads me to my
Amani
next
Oruwariye,
point.
that's another one. Yeah.
We got some depth now.
Yeah.
But that's what kind of comes to my head is Corey Washington. I'm hopefully this dude is actually Randy Moss and we got one. So, but I doubt it.
Bro,
like you mentioned there. I don't know if we're ready to switch to the cornerback topic. Yeah, but like we definitely have depth at corner now. Like last year it was Adoree, and it was I'm blanking on his name, but bro that we signed from Atlanta that turned out to actually be really good. Fabian Moreau. I really like Fabian Moreau. But like that's a really big drop off from corner 1 to corner 2, even though he performed really well. And then our slot was like in flux. Sometimes it was Flott. Sometimes it was Darnay.
Please get Darnay Holmes off of this team. Now, get him out of here. Please get this dude. I'd rather have Senor Stummy play the slot than Darnay Holmes.
Oh, yeah, yo, and Hub, be careful. Hub loves it. He loves your boy Holmes, man.
Listen, it's been a minute since I expect some love for Darnay Holmes, man. But enough time has passed, man. Enough time has passed since he was drafted. All right, but okay, like so. Did we re-sign Adoree yet? Is Adoree on contract, or is this his last year on contract?
Oh, this is going into his last year, and they're
going to be his last year.
If they were going to bring him back, I think they would have extended him this offseason. So
yeah,
we're going to probably be drafting a corner.
I don't want to get too distracted with contract talks, but since it came up real quick, extension for Dexter Lawrence, think is going to happen this offseason or next offseason, and then what you think is going to happen with Saquon?
Saquon is not getting a new deal. He's not getting it.
He's just going to ride out the franchise tag this year?
He's going to hold out as long as he possibly can, and then he's going to sign it, and he's going to come back, and he's going to do another interview saying, you don't believe in me? Well, I'm going to show you. And he's going to do the same thing, and they're going to tag him again next year. He's not getting a new deal. It's just not going to happen.
And then for Dex, this year or next year?
If they're smart, it's this year. But
yeah, I don't know if
they're smart.
I want it to be this year.
Pay him the $23 million because they're like, it's $23 million. He's a defensive tackle. I think they don't want to pay him because Joe Schoen also has said that he doesn't believe, and he believes in positional value. So either he wants to do it now, or you're going to pay him $26 million next year. I mean, pick your poison.
Then what about you, KB, on those two questions before we get back to corner?
And you talking about Leo and Saquon, right?
Well, Dex and Saquon. I think Leo, as much as I do love Leonard Williams, he is gonna get up there in age. I think that he is gonna be somebody we let go eventually.
I think Optimus gonna get it. Yeah, I was gonna just say Optimus. Even if you sign the deal, it's not gonna start until next year anyway. So
yeah, because he's on the fifth-year option. Yeah, exactly. If he signs the deal right now, it doesn't. He's still on the fifth-year option right now.
The fact that they're 2 years out of getting a contract done, and Joe Schoen and Dex's party is saying that the talk is going good right now. I have no doubt in my mind Dexter Lawrence is going to stay. When it comes to Saquon, though, it's getting into murky waters now because we're getting closer and closer. And there were talks that they haven't talked, that they don't want to talk about it right now, and things like that. And we're getting closer and closer to to like mandatory mini camps and stuff like that. And it's gonna be a real test. And he's probably gonna hold out a couple months. We're probably gonna have a lot of questions. I think he's eventually going to sign it because I really don't see him trying to leave this place right just yet. But I think next year we may see Saquon leave because I just don't envision. And I'll tell you right now, it is going to be terrible for Saquon if he gets hurt next year. If Saquon gets hurt next year, you can kiss that shit goodbye. You can kiss that contract goodbye, bro. So
and the thing is, like,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I mean, Saquon is in a bad spot, and he doesn't deserve this because he's been the face of the franchise in the worst years possible at a position that depends on the rest of the team being good. But it's just business, man. Like, Joe Schoen has said, like, there's no more negotiation. He said it. So he said, you're going to continue under this tag. I don't think Saquon could talk to him and say, I want $9.5 million for 4 years. I think he's just completely done with the negotiation. He seems annoyed by it. And
that's true.
I think Saquon is going to hold out as long as he possibly can. And I think Joe Schoen is going to hold out longer. because I think Joe Shane, Brian Dable, Mike Kafka, I really 100% believe. I don't think they want to do this. I think they recognize the value of Saquon, but I really think they would go into the season in the week one, literally with the guy we just
Breida, Eric
drafted.
Gray.
Exactly. Matt Breida, Gray, and Brightwell. And I think that they'd be happy with that. I don't think they would be ecstatic. But I think
to kind of expand a little bit on that point, you guys know Saquon Barkley is like by far my favorite Giant, but like he's climbing up there to be my favorite Giant ever just because I watched the Giants like at a different level when he was there. He was like low key the reason I started my channel and everything. But it's like the same thing with the John Michael Schmitz thing I talked about earlier. Like I recognize the positional value of some of this. I don't think we're ever going to replace Saquon in terms of talent. Like I really think he's just a once-in-a-generation talent. But I think that 100% Joe Shane could build a really, really good running back room without him. Like next year, like as soon as possible, basically, just because there's always good running backs coming out of college.
It is the most, as much as it's my favorite position in the NFL, it is the most replaceable position in the NFL.
Check out with Le'Veon Bell. Check out how that worked for him. Because Le'Veon Bell
that's not us.
Ridiculous.
That's not me saying that the running back position has no value. It's the opposite.
The league
teams
values it.
Exactly. Teams know that it has value. That's why they keep building good running back rooms. It's just like you need to rotate it. And then back with the Dex thing, I'm with Diggy. I want to sign that man as soon as possible. I'm not sure why they haven't offered him that extension yet. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Maybe they're offering him the $24 million, and he's saying I want 28. Who knows? But as far as Saquon, is 100%. They're two different backs, but also Le'Veon Bell was and he was at the worst of Pro Bowl running back, and he set out, and he was out of football. He wasn't getting hit for a year, and I just feel like all of that punishment caught up to him while he sat still for a year. And he never was the same guy. And Saquon has been injured multiple times. He's getting older. A running back cannot afford to sit out an entire year. He just can't do it. So he's going to have to play under the tag.
I really, 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 really want him to go to a place like Kansas City, where they've like done that before. They've taken like star running backs that are at the end of their prime, and I really want him to go there and potentially get a Super Bowl win. Yeah, if he does leave us,
I want him to go to Buffalo. That's where I want him to go.
I wanted him to go to Buffalo this off, but it would have helped us out a lot if he had gotten a big contract and we would have gotten a comp pick.
I'm gonna be so real with you. We're all gonna cry when he ends up signing with Philadelphia next year.
Stop it, bro.
I'm being so for real. This man, he's a Philly native, technically, more than he is.
I know, and I know he definitely.
Well, he's a Jets fan,
Philly.
So.
And
he's a Jets fan, but and at this point, Philly has dirt on Roger Goodell with all the players they're getting, so like it's gonna happen.
And that was gonna be my next topic, and we can jump back to the Giants. But when I see the color blue, I'm gonna call it blue. And what the Eagles are doing right now, what do you all think of their roster right now? Just what do you all think of their roster?
All right,
because
I'm gonna say one sentence:
they're unstoppable.
No holes anywhere. Perfect roster. Strongest roster in the NFL. Their backups can be starters. Like and
that was the case last year, and they got even better.
And they got better.
They had
y'all in the comments better not. People in the comments better not be calling us Eagles fans, man. You just gotta look and recognize that's our competition in the division. If we're gonna hope to win anything, we gotta get through them. That's just the facts. And they are the best built team in the NFL for like 2 years in a row now, and they got better.
Yep. This YouTuber back in the day in like 2007, 2008, 2009, his name was XCal. He played Call of Duty and stuff. He said all powerful, irrefutable, can't be stopped, won't be stopped. The Eagles roster is completely ridiculous, man. Like it doesn't. I really don't think I've seen a roster
real quick. This. I'm sorry, because people used this argument last year when they were like, remember the last super team with Vince Young and whatnot? Well, guess what? Their last super team at all. Their last super team went to the Super Bowl. That was last year. Their last super team went to the Super Bowl. And it took Patrick Mahomes doing some inhumane alien performance to even beat them.
You need a superhuman to beat them. And Lucas, 100%, they've had changes in the coaching, definitely. And that's going to take its toll. But at the same time, I really don't believe that I've seen a team like this, a roster like this, since you like go back and look at like before the salary cap existed, where you're like they have backups that will be Pro Bowlers, and it's like the dream team in 2011 is what I
know
keep
that,
seeing people bring
that's
up.
what I was referring
And
to just now. But if you actually want to take his sentence, which is look at their last super team, it's last year.
Yeah, but the dream team thing in 2011, they were a good team, and they just went out and just signed a bunch of free agents. And those free agents were kind of overrated. They had Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie playing in the slot, which he had never played before and which he did not want to play. They had Nnamdi, a man press corner who was probably the best or second best in the league. They moved him to be in his zone corner. And guess what? They also moved their offensive line coach and made him their defensive coordinator. So,
and also, real quick, highlight Lucas's comment, because Lucas, I love you, man. He's been a great supporter of mine, and I guess all of us for a while now.
yeah,
we gotta stop this, because I did this.
we got to stop the misinformation.
They were not trying. They were not trying. They were 100% not trying with this.
It's literally like this. Like,
they did not care. All the proof you need that they didn't care is to look at the playoff game where they did care. That's all you got to do.
it's literally like this. Like
He's probably
did you see how
trolling, but there
badly
are
they beat us
fans
in the
that think
playoffs?
that.
Yeah, I mean, did you see how badly they beat us in the playoffs? Do you think that our backups are better than our starters? Because, and this is like, I'm not like making fun of anybody. It's like the roster that they put out there and what we put out there is literally like me playing football with like a 4-year-old and like letting him tackle me and him like, yeah, I got your number. I tackled you. Yeah, you can't break a tackle from me. That's what that was like. Jalen Hurts did not run. He didn't run at all. He barely even tried to take any shots down the field. They were literally doing the exact same thing that we were doing, trying to get out of the game without injuries, except it would help them if they got a win. So like they were not going all out at all.
And also, to clarify, there's nothing wrong with acknowledging that the Eagles are the best team in the NFC, probably 99% like the best team in the NFL. Because once again, we got to go through them if we want to get to anything. And I did say this at the end of the season last year. I still believe it. I don't think we're 3 years away. I really think we're 2 years away. And now that's down to 1 because an offseason just got done. I really do like the way this team is being built. I love the way off seasons are handled. I like the talent that they're acquiring in the off seasons and the turnover of talent. I do think that there's still a gap between us and Philly. I still think that it is a little bit of a big gap just because of the amount of star power they have. I think the gap between us and Dallas has lessened significantly. That's just me.
Because they did have a good draft.
And the thing exactly. Is, like,
but just to wrap up the point,
okay.
Because and then you get to, I just want to wrap up the point real quick. I still think we're a year away, and that's to find D guys, like I was saying earlier. It's just that acknowledging that team doesn't change the fact that I hate them, and I've hated them since before all this. The Philadelphia has always been my most hated team. Like for the New York Giants rivals, it's always been Philadelphia. I don't know why. I hate them more than anybody. I don't care about the Commanders. They're like nothing. The Cowboys are just funny. They're just hilarious. And the Eagles are the only team I really and truly hate when it comes to NFC East rivalry.
And I've hated them from the bottom of my heart, most of my life. And the thing is, like, I think that gap is definitely closing. And don't misunderstand me saying this is like I don't think we can beat the Eagles. Like I'd still want us to get a game or two or sweep them next year. And I think that that's definitely possible, especially now we can actually score points. Hopefully we can score points. But that roster just is ridiculous, and it's not fair.
Yeah,
they're definitely beatable. I think any team is beatable until we see New England 2007, where it was unbeatable until they met the Giants in the Super Bowl. I think any team is beatable. They're still the best team in the NFL, and it's like you're going to be very, very hard pressed to find a hole in their roster if you can.
Yeah, I've got a little bit of a hatred towards the Cowboys this time around because they drafted my favorite player in this draft, Deuce Vaughn, and I didn't know that his father is a scout for them, like currently. So they did a whole video. It's on like the NFL recorded or whatever, and like it was a feel good moment. It was a great moment, but I had a fire burning in me, man.
That is a good point, actually.
I got to root for this dude.
That is good. I mean, they're getting older. I don't know if they're gonna fall off, but they're definitely getting older. That's a good point. with their corners.
Yeah.
But guess what?
I mean,
like somebody else pointed out, they got 11 picks next year, man.
Yeah, Slay is good. Slay is good to give up a couple of long touchdowns a year. That'll definitely happen.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Same thing with Bradbury. Like they're not perfect corners, but it's just like
they're great though.
They're still Pro Bowl corners.
Hell yeah.
And I do think that the gap is still closing. Like they added to it a strength, but the Giants' biggest issue last year was the fact that like at the end of the day we could not score points. And I think now, unless Daniel Jones is our complete downfall,
unless he literally is one of those players that like plays to get the contract and then doesn't care. Like that's it.
Like we better score points. Like Darren Waller is out there. He's a number one target. And you got a bunch of, at worst, number 2 or 3 wide receivers. That is a functional offense. You got Saquon Barkley or no Saquon Barkley. We should be able to run the football. We better be able to get stuff done. Like, we need to be putting up 25 points a game. I don't know what it was last year, but the number needs to continue to go up.
And I don't even want to get hung up on the Saquon topic because the more I talk about it, the more sad I'm going to be. But this is going to be the best O-line he's ever had, and he might not even play behind it, depending on how long he sits out. Like, without question. This is not even close. He has an actual center. He has a best young left tackle in the league. Hopefully, Evan Neal takes a step forward.
Yeah, that's the thing to the season.
If Neal takes a step forward and we got the best center in the draft with Andrew Thomas, like the guards, they're literally. I'm a believer in once you have those 3 pieces, the guards can file in and they'll get help from the other guys. So
guess what, Joe? We got depth. We got serious depth. Like this is why I'm feeling so good. Is that like we literally went into a season one year where we had Brandon Marshall, all these people, and they all got hurt in one game. We could legitimately, I'm not even going to say it, 4 of those 4 people could have to leave the game for whatever reason, and we could literally have good receivers out there. The same thing with a ton of other positions.
The
problem with this team for me is a third edge rusher. We don't have a third edge rusher, and we're dependent on Azeez to stay healthy.
Yeah,
and that kind of concerns me. But other than that, I'm feeling good.
Hey, I was going to bring that up. You know who's going to be our third edge rusher? Habakkuk Baldonado, bro.
I'm hoping you're right.
We got.
I'll be really happy.
I love that.
What happened to Quincy Roche, bro?
He's a 4-3 guy, they believed, and they just got rid of him.
Is he still on the? Yeah, is he still on the team? He's not on the team.
He's on the Steelers now. He went back to the Steelers.
Oh, he went back to the Steelers. Wow, that traitor.
Well, not traitor. We didn't do anything with him last year. Yeah,
no, man, you don't go back to your ex.
I was gonna say, like when it comes to immediate problems in terms of depth, yeah, like I want a third reliable edge rusher. But other than that, I would say maybe inside linebacker is the position that's weakest in terms of depth because
right back.
Yeah, we have we have guys at O line.
Like that, bro.
We got guys on D line. We have guys at corner. We have guys at wide receiver. It's really just inside linebacker that probably needs a couple more bodies there.
Well, here's the thing. We don't need a couple more bodies. We just need better players.
Oh, Timon Fox. I like Timon Fox.
Timon Fox is good. But let me
like
tell you
Timon Fox.
Let me tell you right now.
I don't have time for it. I'm sorry. I just don't want to play this game. I'm not going to do it anymore. We're not dependent on anybody. Timon Fox is not. He's not doing it. He's not doing it for me. Ellerson Smith is not doing it for. I put all my faith in that dude.
Listen, I just want to say I never got the fascination with Ellerson Smith. From the day he was drafted, I never got it.
It was all projection. That's what it was.
He was 6'7" and 250 something.
Yeah.
And the dude moves like a wide receiver, but he just cannot stay healthy. All of these players, I just can't put any faith in them until I see them do it. Because like we're actually trying to compete for something. We cannot depend on players that haven't proven themselves. You said they might use Beavers as an edge.
No, don't do that. Don't do that to Beavers.
If you're going to use anybody as an edge, it'll probably be McFadden. He was better off the edge in college. He was better off the edge in the NFL.
And thank you for admitting that.
First of all, what happened to Carter Coughlin? Why couldn't he get any reps over those scrubs?
Because Micah McFadden is just better, bro. What are you talking about?
Carter
Coughlin is trash.
I can't wait. Like on a very serious note, I can't wait for Darren Beavers to come back and be our linebacker too. I really can't.
He's not going to be our linebacker. If Gerard Davis is healthy, he's going to be our linebacker.
Gerard Davis?
Yeah, I know y'all don't like him. I know y'all don't like him, but he's just better than those guys. I'm sorry.
Who's your linebacker too then, Diggy? I got Beavers. He has
It's
Gerard
Beavers.
Davis.
It's
Who's your
Beavers. It's
linebacker?
gotta
two?
be
Yeah, that's what I'm
Beavers.
saying. It's got to be Darian Beavers. when
Assuming he's
healthy.
healthy, it's
Coming
gotta
off
be
an
Beavers.
ACL injury, you think they're just gonna put him at linebacker too?
I
and
think
say,
he's
hey,
I think he's more explosive than Gerard Davis coming off of an ACL.
explosive.
I
That
do.
dude moves like molasses. What are we talking about?
He moves quicker than Gerard Davis.
Oh man, I don't.
He's better than McFadden.
Don't say that. He's not.
And
That's why he
McFadden got it on
Yo,
the edge.
that's
bro.
why
You
he
said
stole
it.
his number and made him get his old number. That's
Speaking
why.
of
That's why
numbers,
Beavers is
all right,
wearing 43
hold
right
up.
now.
Speaking
all
of
right?
numbers, all right, I have nothing but respect for the Giants greats and the Giants legends, but we gotta unretire some numbers, bro. We got
That's
some ugly
ridiculous,
numbers.
man. Like
We got some
the
ugly numbers out
entire
here,
single
man.
digit numbers besides 2 are just all
Yo,
retired.
the
like
fact that,
Exactly.
listen, the
Come
fact
on,
that I don't
man.
know, the fact that I don't know who the hell had the jersey 7 and 1, that's a problem.
exactly who wore it? Tell me who wore it.
Okay, number 7 was I think it was a offensive lineman, if I'm not mistaken, and I think number 1 was like a defensive lineman or something like that. I don't know. I could be wrong about that, but I don't care. That was way too long ago.
Listen,
He's
if
dead.
we're leaving
Okay,
those
he's
jerseys,
gone. But
if we're
he's dead. He's not gonna know. Just unretire 1 and 7.
you're gonna get a
Those are the-
DM from his great grandson.
Yeah.
Bro,
Your remarks.
those are like the best numbers to wear, bro. Those are the coolest numbers to wear. And
But
you
yeah,
tell me to
like
retire?
for some of our guys, like Deontay Banks, this man's about to be wearing like 43 or something, bro. Like, what is he gonna be wearing?
Facts, bro. And then they got. I'm
They
okay
got-
with Hyatt wearing 84.
I,
but
I'm fine with 84, but
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
I completely get like if they want to keep Phil Sims as
yeah,
in the
Phil
retired.
Sims, bro.
I get that. I get
Bro,
that.
Bro,
like, you coulda
we need to
given
give
him,
Phil
like,
Sims the bag, bro.
something
We need to give
else.
Phil Sims the bag because 11 is too cool of a number to just retire, bro. Bro,
Mhm.
we have 14, 11, 10. That's fine. But 7, 1.
I would disagree with the
That's
11.
all.
I'm fine with keeping 11 retired. Phil Sims, like, he helped win the
11,
Super Bowl
11
for us,
goes to
man.
like always like those speedy fast players, bro. I wanted a number 11 on this team or a 14. You know,
You got
16
all the other teams in
16 is
single
fine.
digits
Frank
to choose
Gifford,
from.
Frank Gifford, rest in peace.
You know, the
16 is
extra
fine. That's an
number
ugly-ass
slows the
number,
speed
so-
down.
Huh?
I'm
You
saying
know-
the extra number slows speedy players down.
Exactly. 11 makes you faster.
So that's why you wear one.
And
No,
then we
but-
can't wear it.
We can't wear
But that's what I'm
retired
saying.
Too.
Leave 11 alone. Just get
Oh,
one.
You gotta do all of them.
Yeah, everybody should wear one. We should make new
That's-
numbers.
That's the thing, Danny boy. Like that's why I opened with what I opened with. I'm like, I completely have respect for them, but it's like, and of course, this is all superficial at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? It's just a fun little thing.
You
That's
know
it.
what? You know what I want to see happen? Like, you know how in college you can wear the same number as someone on your team, but it has to be offense and defense. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can wear you can wear.
That's
80
because there's like 150 players on the roster.
Exactly. Lil, let it happen, bro. Just let it be. Just so these guys can wear cool numbers and not have to pay a freaking third string linebacker to take a number. You know what I'm saying? So,
Oh man. But back to the cornerback thing, which was the very first. What was the question, Diggy? With cornerback.
The cornerback. We were talking about the cornerback depth that we have now. Who
We
you
do
think will
have
play
depth, yeah.
where.
it is pretty loaded,
everything
though. I'm
like
not gonna
that.
lie. It's pretty decent.
So yeah, I think Adora would be one, right? Your two is Deontay. Who's your new slot?
Do you think that he'll start off
I don't
over
think he'll
the
start.
Lions corner?
I don't think he'll start over Amani or Warrior, but I think eventually he will. And I like Amani, man. I really do. I was excited to bring him on, but like, you know, you got.
So do
Deontay
you think they'll just have him right in the bench, or you think they'll have him in the slot to start
I
off?
think
They're gonna
he'll be.
rotate him. They're gonna.
I
Rotate
think he'll
him.
be in there. He'll get rotated and he'll play in the dime.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I don't like him in the slot. His snaps in
He's
the
not a
slot
slot
were
guy.
not good at all.
That's why I
He's a
want him.
bouncer.
So
Yeah,
So
he's
I
a
need
guy.
you guys to educate me a little bit about this Lions corner because I've been so out of the loop. Tell me about him, what he good at and all that. And how, like,
Oh, you're talking about
when did
Monty?
we sign him? Yeah,
Amani
when did
or-
we
or-
sign?
Yeah,
We signed him.
When
in
did we
free
sign him? How long for contract? All that.
I think
I
it's a
don't know.
1-year deal.
Yeah, I think it's a 1-year deal, but he's decent, man. He came out of that I think it's the 2019 draft, the same draft Daniel Jones came out, if I'm not mistaken. Penn State corner, so they run like he's a man corner, long arms too, long wingspan. Is like a press man corner for our system. He had
Yeah.
one really good year like 2 years ago, or maybe last year. He had like 5 interceptions or something like that. And yeah.
So why do you guys? What about him makes you guys think that he's gonna like off the bat at least start over Banks?
Because he's safe.
Better-
I mean, he's the vet. He's a press man corner. He's more technically sound. I mean, if Deonte Banks gets with Jerome Henderson and he makes a huge jump before the season, then he's going to be out there. If
Because
not,
Banks isn't
he still
perfect.
needs some more help.
And
Yeah,
I was
he
gonna
still
say, I
has to
will
clean a lot
say,
of stuff up.
like in the interview, the first interview we saw, he did say that Jerome Henderson was like heavily interested in him throughout the draft process and stuff like that. Like he had a lot of contact with our DB coach throughout the draft process.
Yeah, Banks is not perfect. Like when you
Big
get
Dash says we're crazy.
Amari Anson,
I don't think it'll happen, but I think it's really
rooting,
possible.
Yeah, I'm not rooting for it to happen. I'm not rooting for it to. I'm not rooting for Amari to start over or Amani, whatever his name is, to start over or Banks, but it could happen. They might want to start the veteran over the rookie first, and then eventually you'll get Banks doing well in practice, and they just start Banks over him.
Yeah,
but
and this isn't even us saying like this isn't us saying like you look at the sideline and you see Deonte Banks on the sideline just like this. It's
they'll rotate.
It's like who do you think will be out there and like cover 0 or engage 8 or anything, any blitz, crazy man blitz like that. And who do you think the two corners will be out there?
I'm rooting for my man. People forget, all right? I'm gonna always take credit for this. Fear the Flot was my hashtag before anybody else's.
You sure about that?
And yes,
sure
I'm very sure. I'm very, very sure.
I do have receipts, man. I do
draft night, man. Draft night. Unless you had some before draft night. I don't know if you had anything before draft night.
The funny thing is, we were saying Fear the Flot at LSU, so.
Then I do not got it. I rescind that statement.
You need to concede
that was already
right now. Concede.
But Fear the Flot. I better see that man with some more muscle this season, bro.
I want Flot to start in the slot.
I just hope he doesn't.
I need to see him not weigh 170 pounds, bro.
Well, I mean, I want to see him weigh 170 pounds. I want to see him not weigh 163 pounds.
That's what I mean. Okay, yeah. I was about to say.
I'm really concerned about a couple of players on this roster. One would be Cordell Flott. Another will be Jalen Hyatt. And Jalen Hyatt weighed in at the combine at like 170 something, 174 or something. Now, listen, if anybody's ever like looked at the laws of thermodynamics as far as like gaining and losing weight, all of this like stuff you hear about players putting on a solid 20 pounds of muscle in 3 weeks doesn't exist. So either they're using steroids or they're
he's up to 190 though. He said he was up to 190 right now.
There's no way that this dude put on 15 pounds of muscle.
Hyatt,
yeah.
Okay,
he's saying that he expects to play at 190. So
yeah.
That's fast weight.
We'll see him.
His muscles and his tendons.
I do not want this man to slow down or get injured, man. Like Aziz did when he added muscle.
They have to adjust to this new weight and decelerating and accelerating. The same thing with Cordell Flott. So I'm just hoping that these medical people know exactly what they're doing. The trainers know exactly what they're doing because gaining weight is easy. Definitely for
same trainers, man. Better not be the same.
Gaining weight is easy, but gaining muscle, you're not gaining 15 pounds of muscle in a couple of months.
Gaining weight, you just eat a bunch of Big Macs. Gaining muscle is different. So.
And it's just like if you put on,
yeah, me too, Dash.
Not muscle. If you put on fat, then
me too, Dash. I don't believe it either, but that's what he said he's at right now. That's
he's gonna weigh 190 one day after he drinks a bunch of water, and then he'll go back down to 182.
Exactly. Bro, you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised if you drink a lot of water. You'll be surprised how much weight you gain in like 5 minutes. Yeah,
exactly.
So the water weight is definitely like a facade, bro. It definitely is. So, yeah. But as far as those guys go, but with Cordell Flott, I would think I think he could be fine as a boundary guy, but I think the only role he really is going to be set for is slot because I think that boundary position is just set with Adoree', Banks, and Amani.
He can't play the slot.
Yeah,
he's not a good slot corner.
But that's the thing, though. I mean, where else are you going to put the guy? You know what I'm saying? That he's going to have.
That's the problem.
They might try him out there because of Darnay Holmes' struggles. And
Flott is going to
You know the thing that worries. You know the thing that disappoints me about Holmes. He's a good tackler. Like he makes tackles, on running backs, wide receivers. But he just first of all he grabs.
Put him at nickelbacker.
Never put this guy on third down ever again because this guy will always give you a penalty on third down. Always.
Put him at nickelbacker. Put him there, and he still wouldn't be a good coverage linebacker.
Yeah.
He's not good.
Yeah, Darnay Holmes is
Put
not
him on
good.
special teams. Darnay Holmes will be an excellent special teamer. He'd be an amazing special teamer.
Yo, he'll feel so
That's what he should play.
disrespected. He'll feel so. This is not a pro way thing to do, bro.
Like Darnay Holmes, like, and shout out to the people over at Fireside Giants. They did an interview with Darnay Holmes' coach. And like somebody who were like, and this dude said Darnay Holmes is going to take that next step and he's going to be a boundary corner and he's going to shut everybody down.
Oh man,
Darnay Holmes can't handle what's on his plate right now. Like I don't understand why.
I know he can't even
this
handle the
dude-
slot right now, man. He's way too undersized to play boundary.
Darnay is not a gamer. Stop it. He's not. He's
a
not a
gamer.
Being tough does not make you a gamer.
Bro, you know why people say
Darnay
that?
Holmes,
Because Deion Sanders is vouched for him, bro. That's why everybody's loving him.
Listen, Darnay Holmes, if I will give him this, like if Darnay Holmes if it's 3rd and 8 and somebody catches the ball in the flat and Darnay Holmes is there, they're not getting the first down 100%. But other than that, to cover someone is the cornerback's job. All the other stuff he does great, but the cover part he doesn't do.
I know. And you know what's crazy? I always said this about Darnay Holmes, especially when it comes to like those slants and crossers. He will give those up all day, but his makeup speed is ridiculous. He'll allow the catch and he'll catch up to you and then bring you down. Yep.
Darnay is cheap.
Yeah, but it's not Darnay. He is. He's not good, bro. He's not good. And Aaron Robinson, I thank God Aaron Robinson proved to be like, besides the injury, which sucks, but he was not good at boundary corner. And a lot of people were like, bro, give the guy a chance.
My stomach
He's
hurts.
Garbage. And I knew we should have got a veteran corner in there. And his stomach was hurt, bro.
I knew we should have taken. Listen, how many snaps has Ben Cleveland played?
I was about to say Ben Cleveland.
Like 5 snaps. I take those 5 snaps over Aaron Robinson. I will never forgive the people. Even some of these people are still subscribers of mine. I'll never forgive these people who attack me for being mad for taking Senor Stummy because he has done nothing. He has done nothing for it.
Bro, he would have been fine.
They talked about.
If a team would have drafted him to be a safety, he'd be fine.
Like they literally said, listen, you haven't done your draft research. You don't know anything about the cornerbacks in this class. Aaron Robinson was supposed to go in the top 10, and he lasted all the way to the 3rd round. Like this dude, Senor Stuffy, has done nothing for us. Nothing.
Robinson
got people in a chokehold.
Garbage. Robinson's coverage was always like not good, especially at UCF. But I always said his tackling and his work against the run was good. I said he would have been good as a safety, but
he needs to play special teams.
He needs to play special teams.
Put him at gunner, man.
Congratulations, buddy.
Put him on one side and Darnay Holmes on the other side. But Aaron Robinson will get hurt, so don't put him on. Just get rid of him.
Yeah, my stomach hurt.
So next year, who's our starting 3 corners? Banks, Flott, hopefully. I don't know. And then do we draft somebody else or sign somebody?
We're drafting somebody if Adoree goes. We gotta sign and draft someone.
Yeah, ideally I would want Banks, Adoree, and Flott, but as Diggy said, that Flott's probably not suited for the slot very well. So I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do, but Flott needs to prove himself to be about like a starting corner for him to get some rest, man. Because we already got Deonte Banks in here, so I mean, he's got to prove that he could be a number 2 corner.
Yeah, I really hope that. I don't hope it, but I hope that he gets rotated in at the boundary a lot and he looks good. If that happens, then he'll be able to play outside after Adoree leaves because for some reason Adoree doesn't look like he's coming back. Because I don't know if that's because of him or the Giants, but hopefully Cordell Flott can be the other corner.
Yo, I know we already talked about this, but I just saw this tweet on my timeline that made me laugh. This person said, I've been watching Hyatt and redacted wide receiver when he was coming out. And there's so many similarities. They're damn name the same. And I think he's talking about Henry Ruggs. Because he's like redacted wide receiver. I'm like, no way, bro.
Man, that is just such a sad story, man. Like it just shows how much just being an idiot can ruin your life.
Yep.
And ruin other people's lives, man. That just stinks.
Yeah, and Henry Ruggs is trying to get back into the NFL now.
What?
How is he out of jail?
Yeah, he's out.
What?
You know,
Since when?
you mean he's awaiting trial?
No, he's out. He's
How
How
did
did
training.
he
he
get
get?
out?
Man's
how
is
did he
training,
get-
bro.
Bro, he
You're
killed
joking.
like 3 people.
I saw him on the field training. I
How-
saw a
nah,
video.
this is
man.
cap.
Stop it.
This is cap.
It
Stop.
looks
This-
like he's trolling.
Nah,
Not
bro. How do you get out of jail after like
What is he training with
manslaughtering
Colin
people, bro?
Kaepernick? See what's going on.
Look at Henry Ruggs felony DUI case delayed by judge issue.
Oh,
The case
delayed.
is
Yeah,
delayed.
he's still
but
awaiting
he's not
trial.
out, bro.
I don't think I saw him I saw a video of him running. I saw him
Yeah,
running
he's been
on,
I
out
don't
of
think
jail
it's
for a
free.
long time, but he's still awaiting trial.
on a football field. Hold on.
Bro, he ain't doing anything.
Like
bro.
I said, he's
not
out
doing.
there getting
Bro,
up.
hold on.
He's
He's
out
not
there
doing
getting up at
anything.
6 a.m. with Colin
s-
Kaepernick.
He's not doing anything.
in Roxbury High
He's about to be
School.
the best longest yard player ever. Ruggs is in jail, but I don't know why. I saw a video of him saying like, "Oh, I'm gonna make it back" or something like that.
I should throw you into the streets for this, bro.
I saw
Yo.
something like that, bro. I don't know.
Yeah, Rose he's not getting another chance. He shouldn't. Get
Oh hell
another
no,
chance.
he's not. Hell no, he's
You
not.
know what's crazy is like, what do you all think about the whole gambling thing and suspending players for a year?
I
I don't think it makes sense
I
for
think it should
cases
be-
like Calvin Ridley.
think it should be punished, but not to the extent that it does be punished. Because
Yeah, for
if
4 years
you are
is a long
if you
time,
are
man.
if you are in the NFL and you bet on your own team to win or lose, that's some slimy shit. You can't do that. So I mean, Calvin Ridley, like he wasn't playing for them at the time. He was off. But like, here's the thing, right? I never understood why celebrities bet. I don't understand. You got a lot of money, and you
They,
gonna
they
put-
don't bet for the money; they bet for the thrill of it.
I know, and that's why it could be an addiction. It's terrible.
Yeah,
But golly, like, why are you gonna do that? I heard he like lost $1,000 or something like that. Like, bro, you make so much money and you trying to put in I don't understand. Trying to make a small little bag. I don't understand.
Jameson Williams is his career over? Do we think that his career is over because he has not played and he's going to finish? He's going to finish.
Talking
his
about
second
Detroit
year.
Lions draft last
No,
year.
he got suspended 6 games though.
He got suspended. 6. Oh, he didn't get the whole season.
Yeah,
I was about to
didn't get the
say, I
whole
don't think it's
season
the whole-
because he wasn't betting on NFL, so he betted on another sport. That's
What?
Yep, that's
Then
why.
why did they
They
suspend
suspended
him?
him for.
For betting another sport, huh?
They suspended
That
him for
doesn't-
using it
that-
for betting on
That doesn't make sense to me. Betting on another sport, then why are you suspending them? That doesn't make any sense to me.
Because you're still betting. They don't want any sports athletes betting on anything.
That's kind
That's
of kind of stupid.
It is, but then people can find a loophole and just say, well, I'm not betting on football. I'm a football player, so I'll bet on basketball. You know what I'm saying? So that's why. But there was a player on the Lions that did bet on the NFL or something like that, and they got suspended the whole year. So that was clearly the difference.
Wow,
Poor guy.
man. So out of our running back room, who do you think is going to be the most impactful as far as? We all know
mean-
Saquon is going to be there. I'm assuming he's going to be there week 1.
Are you saying excluding Saquon or including Saquon?
Yeah, excluding Saquon. Of course, Saquon is going to
Okay.
be most
I was
impactful.
going to say the answer is still Saquon.
But
Um,
when you look at Breida and you look at Eric Gray, it kind of makes me think about this because Eric Gray as a rookie is going to already be able to pass block, and Matt Breida is a really good pass blocker. And then Eric Gray is going to be able to catch the ball out of the backfield. And the same thing with Matt Breida. So I'm not sure if they're going to do a 50-50 with them, or is Eric Gray going to kind of have a year where he's sitting behind Breida and then he'll take over as the
Man,
running
we're
back
just
too.
we're just
year.
assuming Gary Brightwell's done, bro.
you yourself
Brightwell
said it
isn't
earlier this
stepping in over
Bro,
Eric
you
Gray.
said it yourself earlier this stream. You watched some of Eric Gray, you're like, yeah, that guy's better than Brightwell.
yeah.
So-
I'm just playing devil's
I will
advocate.
say this. I hope that it isn't a 50-50 thing. I would like to see our drafted players get snaps if they can.
Yeah,
You
but
know, I would hope that it's a
here is the
50-50
difference.
thing.
Here's the
You got a
difference.
super chat, by the way, Diggy.
Oh, good. Read
Yeah,
this.
we got a super chat. Pandemonium. Shout out to you for the $2 super chat. He says he bet while on team grounds. Yeah, I mean, at that point, that kind of makes sense. I mean,
Okay,
you can work for a normal company and bet there, and they might have like grounds to
Yeah, okay,
Make
yeah. I
some
thought
kind
this
of
man
happen.
was chilling on his couch at home, and like he did it on the app.
Yo, who the hell is
Yes.
gonna bet and you're in the facility, bro? Are you
That's not
stupid?
smart.
Are you stupid?
And you know how you can prevent that? Get a VPN. Click the link in the
Sponsored by
description.
ExpressVPN. But the biggest difference though between Eric Gray and Breida is speed. Breida is like one of the fastest running backs in the NFL, and Gray
Why
just
didn't we get the 90-yard touchdown? I'm still angry about that. We never got it.
Yeah, and Gray just doesn't have home run speed, and he's good and he's quick. He's not fast. That's the thing with Gray. So that's
Quicker
the
than
biggest
fast.
that's the biggest
Wes Welker.
difference. Well, yeah, definitely. But that's the biggest difference to me, and that's why I think those split reps, because we're trying to utilize as much speed as we can clearly on this offense, and Breida is going to be part of that, I'm sure. We're probably going to see a lot of dual running back sets too with Saquon and Breida more often. So I'm that's the only reason why. But I think Eric Gray will get some reps, especially short yardage situations. If we need like we're trying to set our offense up for something and we need like 5 yards, they're gonna throw Gray out there if Saquon's not available. They're gonna throw Gray out there and he's gonna get those yards.
Yeah, I mean Eric Gray kind of reminds me of, and he's got more receiving ability, but he kind of reminds me of like that Arian Foster, DeMarco Murray mold. And DeMarco Murray is actually Eric Gray's mentor. So hopefully we'll see what happens with that.
Interesting.
We need to learn how to rotate the running backs. What did you all think of how we rotated the running backs last year?
Not good. We didn't do a good job at that at all.
We definitely didn't. I was complaining about that in my post-game reactions all the time.
Yeah.
I remember when I was like, we need more Matt Breida for like half of the season. And I don't think there was a single game, maybe one game where we actually used him. I'm like, this man is just sitting there doing nothing.
He didn't get the 90-yard touchdown.
Listen, what?
People can argue with me until they're blue in the face. You're not going to tell me that Saquon Barkley is physically the same player that he was. It's not true. It's not true.
Right.
It's just not true. And this isn't me saying that he's still not a freak athlete, because
injuries
90% of Saquon is still better than most athletes in the NFL. But he's not the same player. And he's not going for these 85, 90-yard touchdowns. Matt Breida, I didn't see that last year either, but he also didn't get that many chances to do that.
Yeah. They definitely need to figure out how to rotate them in better, because Breida was barely seen on the field. This guy Breida was consistently every year when he was with the Niners. I don't know with the Dolphins and Bills too, but he with the Niners consistently every year, like top of the league in yards per carry,
23 miles per hour.
Yeah, and in yards per carry, and on at one point there was one year he was leading the NFL through like 6 weeks of the season in rushing yards, like at least by the midway point of the season before he eventually got hurt. But he can definitely carry a little bit of a workload. We don't need it. Why are we giving this guy like, if that 2 carries a game? Like sometimes he would not have no carries or 2 carries or a pat or a catch or something like that. We need to utilize him more, especially that we have Eric Gray on the field with his skill set. We definitely need to use his skill set too, and not run Saquon into the ground and repeat what happened last season. We use Saquon so much. We use Saquon so much in the beginning of the season. That middle of the season where Saquon's like production was like completely plummeted,
as we started to pass
injury started to start to compile a lot.
The shoulder.
You should have just been using the running back rotation a lot better. We have the guys to do it. We don't have scrubs as running back depth. We got some guys.
That's a lot of touches.
That's a little rich. That's a little rich.
That's a lot of touches.
That's a little rich, but that's like a running back by committee sort of thing.
That Houston game, I was so
what
angry.
Up, Jersey Life?
What's going on? I haven't seen Jersey Life in a while. But that Houston game, I was so angry because the dude had like 33 carries or something, and we were easily winning the game, and they just kept giving it to Saquon Barkley over and over again. And people were like, look, we won the game. Like, we did not need to run Saquon Barkley that many times to beat the Texans. The Texans picked number 2 for a reason. So it's just like, there should be no way that we have to run any running back in 2023 unless it's working and it's in a close game, we shouldn't have to run that guy 30 something times a game when we have good running backs behind him. I mean, Saquon, in my opinion, should be running the ball 18 to 20 times a game, sometimes less, sometimes more, and catch about 3-4 passes. That leaves some time for Matt Breida to go out there and get 5-6 carries a game, and then maybe Eric Gray gets 3, and then maybe sometimes some games Eric Gray gets more carries than Matt Breida. But we definitely need to utilize the other running backs we have. So when you get 10 weeks into the season, Saquon Barkley isn't worn out and you just don't have the same player and he has to reset for 6 weeks before he's the same player again.
Right.
So we're at like an hour and 30 minutes right now. So I'll start to wrap things up pretty soon. But for now, what are you all thinking of this entire division? We kind of touched on the Eagles, but what are you all thinking as far as the draft that the Commanders had, the draft the Cowboys had? Do you think that those teams got a lot better compared to how we got?
Go ahead. You could take this first.
Oh, okay. I think all the NFC East got better in their own respective way. I think Washington addressed a lot of their needs, especially on defense and on offensive line. That's pretty much all they did was address secondary and offensive line. They got 2 defensive backs early, and then they got some more linemen. And then Dallas, they filled in some needs as well. Philly just got stronger in all their strengths, and we did the same. So I feel like the NFC East they all got good. They all got a little bit better. I don't think any of them had bad drafts. I definitely think us and the Eagles had the best drafts, but Dallas is right there, and Washington did what they had to do. They didn't really have a flashy draft, but they did what they had to do. So, yeah, I think they got better.
I definitely agree with KB a lot. I would say the entire NFC East, they all had their own good drafts. I would go with I hate to give the Eagles props as usual, but just for pure talent, they're probably right up there with us. I do think we had the best draft because I don't think you beat getting 3 players that were mocked to you in your first round, and then those 3 players fulfill the 3 biggest needs on the team.
Getting Jalen Carter at 10 is crazy.
That is true.
And Nolan Smith at 30.
And then Nolan Smith at 30, right?
But then getting Ringo.
And what was that, in the 4th
round or something?
I think it was the 4th round.
I forgot where they got Ringo.
Right?
Yeah,
so like if you talk about value, yeah, you obviously gotta give credit to the Eagles. But then when you talk about projecting, I definitely think, well, like I said, I think the gap between us and Dallas is a lot closer than it was last year, and there's still that gap between us and Philly. But with that being said, I think it's very similar to last year. I really do. I could see us ending up as second in the NFC East, as much as I could see it playing out just like it did last year with us, Dallas, and Eagles being 3 teams to make it out of one division, But I definitely think we have a legitimate shot at being second in the NFC East, and I don't think we're gonna have a bad record in the NFC East this time. We only won 1 game within our division last year. I definitely think that's gonna change.
Yeah, and then on top of that, if you look at the Giants last year, probably the last in wide receiver, and probably last or second last in offensive line. Do you think that has gotten better or worse? Do you think that we're still last in wide receiver, still last in offensive line?
Definitely better on both. I think I'll have to see how our offensive line performs on the field before I say we're like right behind the Eagles. Because unfortunately our division has really good offensive lines. The Commanders, they have a really good offensive line.
No, their Commanders, their offensive line is garbage.
The Commanders?
Yeah, it's garbage.
Who's their offensive line right now?
Sam Cosmi. That's all I gotta say. Well,
all right.
Left.
I mean,
up.
All right. I don't think it's garbage. I think it's a good offensive line for the most part.
Well, now it's better. They drafted guys, but yeah.
And like obviously Dallas isn't the Hall of Fame that they used to be, but there's still a good enough offensive line. And then Philly is like an amazing, great offensive line.
I still think we're number 3 offensive.
I was gonna say I still think we're number 3. I still think we're behind Dallas and Philly. Yeah. Wide receiver, who does? That's a good question.
Dallas has CeeDee Lamb
We're,
and
we're still,
Like
we're,
Eagles is still number 1 with wide receiver.
yeah,
100%.
Number 2,
we're probably still at number 3.
I really
No, I
believe
think we
that
might
the
be at
Eagles
number
would go
4
and get
still.
Jalen Hyatt. I thought that the
4,
Eagles were going to
yeah.
get Jalen Hyatt because they
Oh,
still need
yeah.
a slot receiver.
Yeah,
They have a guy
what's
that
going
they
on with
signed.
Quez? Why do they don't like Quez? But they have Olamido Zacchaeus, or whatever his name is.
Nobody's checking for that dude for real.
What's up with Quez Watkins? Why nobody likes him anymore? I thought Eagles fans loved him.
Bro, because they got AJ Brown and Devontae Smith now. What
No,
are you talking
but
about?
remember the Batman?
It was that
the
same,
skinny
like,
Batman, fast
yeah.
Batman, swole Batman. He was one of the Batmans.
Yeah.
So what happened to that? It turned to Robin real quick.
Yeah. If you ask Eagles fans right now, they'll probably tell you something different. They'll probably say he's their favorite player, but pretty much it's like I feel like the Giants wide receiver core, as far as like the weapons, including Darren Waller, you can make an argument they were right behind the Eagles because looking at Dallas, they have CeeDee Lamb, who's better than any player, any receiver on our team. But I don't think CeeDee Lamb, if Darren Waller is healthy, is a better target than Darren Waller.
Oh yeah, I don't think so either.
Looking at Dallas's, let me pull up their roster in case I'm forgetting a player. They still have Gallup, right?
Yeah, they still got Gallup. They got Gallup, Lamb. That's all I know.
They got Gallup, Lamb, and then they got the guy that was really good with their backup quarterback.
Noah Brown. Is that his name? Noah Brown?
Yeah,
like
Noah Brown. And
Yeah.
didn't he leave?
Yeah, I think he left. I think he went to the Texans.
So you could make an argument that the Cowboys, that we have a better receiver room than them. And then with Washington, it's kind of tricky because you're kind of subtracting because of their quarterback situation. But like
True.
on paper, they got a ton of receivers.
Yeah, they got
Mhm.
good receivers. So, and they're good receivers too. Like
Like,
I like
Terry is a
Dotson, I
monster.
like Terry.
Yeah.
De'Ami Brown, we don't know what's going on with him. He just can't get on the field.
That's why it's
No
tricky. That's
idea.
why it's like I'm like I don't know if I could put us higher than 3. Like I don't feel bad about putting us at 4 either, and I wouldn't
Yeah.
be angry
For-
if anybody
for-
else
for
puts us
weapons?
at 4. Yeah, no, for wide. We're seeing wide receiver only, right? For wide receiver.
I'm doing weapons because wide receiver only.
If it's weapons, then I
yeah.
think we're much. I really do think we're 2 if it's weapons.
Yeah, because the two.
Oh
tight
yeah,
ends
didn't
we
Dallas
have-
sign Brandon Cooks? Yeah, never mind.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
never. We're
Yeah.
3.
We're
3.
I
Yeah.
forgot
If we're
about
talking-
Brandon
about
Cooks.
that.
If we're
I
talking
wanted
weapons, I
Brandon
still
Cooks,
think we're
though.
2 purely because of Saquon and Waller.
I wanted Cooks. Man.
Yeah, we always talk about Saquon as a receiver, but they don't throw him the ball as a receiver. So I just can't use him as a weapon. I mean,
Maybe that changes if they actually use the other running backs this year. We'll see.
yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But anything else as far as the draft that you feel like we didn't cover? I mean, we didn't really talk about the end of the roster people, but I mean the end of the draft guys. But I mean, what do you all think?
Well, as far as undrafted guys, the 2 guys that I think a lot of people know about on like Twitter and stuff like that, Habakkuk Baldonado and Bryce Ford Wheaton. These guys, we talked a little bit briefly about them, but I do want to stress that I really think both of those guys are like we're gonna know about them in preseason. Like they're gonna make some noise and they could possibly make this roster. The wide receiver Wheaton is going to have a little bit more trouble just because of the depth we have, but he definitely has the talent to do so. And Baldonado, I don't think there's anybody scaring this guy in our edge group. In the depth department that's going to keep him off of there. So I think he will definitely make the roster, in my opinion. But those 2 guys, watch out for those guys. I know I was out here saying earlier that let's not focus on sleeper guys, but hey, he's undrafted free agent. They're freaking free. So
Yeah,
they're free. So yeah, that's all.
I think we covered everything that we could have with the Giants draft. Maybe we could have probably gotten into the NFC East draft a little bit more, but I honestly don't know much of the draft classes of Washington and Cowboys. The only reason I
Washington
know
is a complete blind spot for me.
yeah, the only reason I even know about the Eagles is because it's just like they can't keep getting away with this type of stuff. So
yeah, keep getting away with it.
but Gundog says we still don't have linebackers. So maybe plural. I'll agree with you. We did all agree. It's like the one position with the least amount of depth, but we have Bobby Okereke, who I think is going to be a good inside linebacker for us. And then I guess after that, you can make the argument, but I'm a believer in Beavers if he comes back healthy. And yeah, after that, I don't know what it is depth wise, but we're still like a year away. I think we're still a year away. And in conclusion, man, I'm really liking the way that this team is being built. And
it's
every
built the right
single
way.
for both years now that Shane has been in charge, he's always attacked the biggest needs.
So do you all think that we'll be able to have an improvement in the win column this year? Or do you think we'll go backwards?
That's hard.
Even with the better roster?
That's tough.
Harder, though. That's the thing.
Not even because of that. Not even because of the schedules getting harder. It's just tough because we had a lot of wins last year. I don't know. I feel like we forget, but 10 wins, even with an extra game, is a lot of wins.
Yeah,
9
wins.
10 wins. It's 10 including the playoffs.
10
the playoffs.
10 including the playoffs. Maybe we can get to 10 in the regular season, but we're still, in my opinion, the toughest division in football. Maybe we could get to 10 or 11. But you never know how this season is going to shake out. You know, not to sound like a hypocrite when we were talking about Philadelphia being so great, but you never know. Philadelphia might only win 11 games this year. You know what I'm saying? And then if they only win 11 games, maybe we stay at 9. You know, maybe we stay at 9. Maybe we drop back down to 8 or something. But you never know how it shakes out.
Bro, the crazy thing is that Philadelphia's floor is probably 11 wins, and that's ridiculous.
That's like if things go horrible. Like
that's if all their starters get depleted and their backups have to start, which are starters in themselves. They're like a whole nother team.
It's like ridiculous,
God.
Man. It's ridiculous. I think it all starts in the division. It's like even if we play the Eagles twice and we get embarrassed again twice, if we don't beat Dallas one time, I mean, I'm going to kind of be disappointed. We got to beat Dallas at least once.
I agree.
I mean, they're not that dominant.
I'm telling you, our in-division record is going to be better, and I'll be very sad and disappointed if it isn't better. We had one win last year.
Here's the thing. We need to get back to sweeping Washington. We get back to sweeping Washington and at least get one win off of Dallas, then we're talking. Now
that's the way that we can beat the Eagles. I hope to God that Ringo plays the slot. That would be beautiful.
Yeah, I'm not.
That would be incredible.
Ringo's not a great corner by any stretch. He's just not.
If he plays the slot and starts out in the slot form, that would be amazing. He cannot move side to side.
Yeah, he can't move.
And he's not a coverage guy.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
So it's just really you left, KB, for like season.
Huh? What?
Me and Biggie gave like our season thing.
Oh, snap. Okay, our season. I kind of chipped in while you're talking, so I don't know if that counted. But as far as the season goes, I think with this schedule on how it's maybe getting harder, I think we're probably gonna max out around the same. Not the same, but I think we'll max out around 10 or 11, and I think the floor would be like an 8 or 9 win season. I think that's the wiggle room I'll give. Anything less than 8 wins is an absolute failure. It doesn't matter what kind of injuries we got. We got to figure out a way to win despite having injuries, because they're gonna happen. Daniel Jones got to step up no matter who's on the field. But I love the way this team is being built. The offensive line is finally being addressed heavily with the picks that we're getting and free agency. Even like Mark Lewinsky, that may have been a mistake, but it was a necessary move at the time that it was made. So I'm not too sure about what's going on with Lewinsky right now. He kind of sucks, but especially how
Ben Bredeson is more than perfect to replace him if Josh Ezeudu steps up.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Josh Ezeudu, man, I'm not checking for that dude either. We took a developmental guard in the 3rd round.
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, that's the only problem I had with Joe Shane's first draft. I shouldn't not know who these guys are in the third round. Like, I should know who they are.
You can get starting level guards in the 3rd and 4th round, and we took a guard where he's gonna have to sit for a year. He's gonna have to sit. He's gonna have to learn. Like, I don't want to see that out of a guard.
Not to get too off topic, because since we got back to O-line, you reminded me. Did you guys see that picture of John Michael Schmitz next to Daniel Jones? Why does Daniel look the same size as this man?
Because Daniel Jones is a unit. This
man is
a freaking unit.
I keep forgetting how big DJ. Like, I know his height. He's like 6'4", 6'5". but I keep forgetting how much muscle he's packed on.
I
Since
remember when he
really
was a rookie, he looked like a pipsqueak. I'm not gonna lie, when he's a rookie, he looked like a pipsqueak.
He still wasn't a pipsqueak as a rookie. That's the funny thing.
This man is huge now, muscle wise. Like him and John Michael Schmitz look the same size, and John is a big dude.
John Michael Smith says that he's 310, but I don't know.
You think he's probably like 295 or something?
Maybe
it says 301 on his scouting report.
Yeah, but he said in his interview that he was 310. So I'm not sure. He said he played. That's where he'll play at.
Yeah, bro, he says that. I watched the interview. He said he's most comfortable playing at like 309, 310.
Bro, football is the only sport where you could be 310 pounds and say I'm an athlete. That's just crazy.
All muscle, man.
And that's sick though. That's like, yo, oh my god.
Yeah,
the way these guys move, bro. Jesus, like Andrew Thomas, like you see how smooth this guy moves. He's 300 and like, he's like 305, 315 or something like that. It's freaking crazy, bro.
Yeah. Okay. On top of that, I was about to go on a tangent, but I'll decide not to do it. But I have to go on a tangent. Wait a second.
Do it.
I remember I was listening to Big Blue Kickoff Live, and I heard John Smith say that he remembers Sean O'Hara putting on 20 pounds of muscle in an off season, and he said he saw his gut sticking out, and it was just solid muscle. And I was just like,
what the hell? Why are you even looking at that? Why are you even like? First of all, how did he even figure that out?
How is that gut solid?
You know, offensive lineman. He probably had his gut out or something.
Yeah, but how did he know it was solid muscle? Like he had to have said, "Can I feel it?" Like there's no. How do you even tell the difference? Yeah, all right now.
Rock solid.
He's
Can
like,
I feel it?
You're looking a little. God damn. Yeah.
Maybe he ran into him in the parking lot with his car and bounced off. Oh man. But I'll close it out with this. What are your, and Meet the Mets is right ahead of me. What are your predictions again for Daniel Jones? Will he throw for 20 touchdowns this year? Will he do it?
He better. No, okay, no, I'm gonna say it right now. I'll say it right now. With the fact that we have a really improved wide receiving core. We have a good wide receiving core now, potentially very good. If healthy, Darren Waller, and even not healthy, we just have better weapons, better O-line, and Dable and Kafka are sure to improve their play calling. This man better have at least like 30 touchdowns thrown this year, bro. I'm being so real.
He has to,
I need to see a range of 28 to 32 at the very least. That's just me.
How many did he throw last year? 16? You think he's going to double his touchdown output throwing?
I need him to get 28 to 32. That's all I'm saying.
Well,
it's time to stop. It's time to stop the 16 touchdowns throwing in the air. All right.
Did he have 16? I thought he had less than that.
Yeah, 16. 16 touchdowns throwing and then 7 rushing. And then 700 yards rushing.
See, that's the thing too. With the passing touchdowns, he might not get 28 to 32 because he still has a threat as a runner, and he still might rush for some. So I would say like 35 total touchdowns, but yeah, I would try to get close to like 24, 25 passing touchdowns. Man, it's hard to gauge because with the amount of talent that we acquired and where this offense is going is completely different from where this offense was. And like we talked about it earlier, the offensive playbook is going to evolve based on what the guys that we had. We didn't really have the burners besides like a Darius Slayton who can't freaking separate. We didn't really have the burners to really throw downfield, and now we have Waller, who's faster than the majority of tight ends in the league. Daniel Bellinger, who's going to be great in short space, and then we have Paris Campbell, who can stretch the field. Hyatt, obviously. So, I mean, it's so hard to tell. But one thing I would say is that Daniel Jones, just him being paid the contract that he's paid, he needs to produce. Like there can't be any more excuses with weapons. There's no way somebody's gonna go on Twitter and talk about weapons again. I swear I'll lose my mind.
They will.
Oh my god. We still don't have a number one receiver.
Listen, I don't care. Here. Oh, I don't care about that part. I don't care about the weapons, and I don't care. Listen, Evan Neal, he could get better. He could not get better. But at the end of the day, we got a $40 million man back there. So.
Exactly.
Make something happen.
No, I was about to say that. That's also goes into why I'm like I want 28 to 32 touchdowns in the year, man.
I'm
You're being
expecting
paid to
Daniel
play
Jones to
quarterback.
throw about 24 to 26 touchdowns, run for about 5 or 6.
You got to
But,
bump that up.
Hopefully,
You got to bump
I'm
that up.
telling you what I'm expecting. I'm telling you what I'm expecting. The thing
Should be
is, if
expecting
this
more.
dude throws for,
I'm being so serious right now, bro. It's
You gotta
time.
bump it up. You gotta bump it
It's
up.
time.
You
It's
gotta
time to
do it.
stop. It's time to stop these low projections, man.
Yeah, but if you
Listen.
look around the league, there are like good quarterbacks that don't even get to 25 touchdowns. Like, it's just what it is. Like,
it's just like once you're
Like
below
who?
that 20 mark, it starts to look strange.
Like
Yeah.
who?
It just starts to look bad.
let's look it up.
I just
Yeah,
want
like
to know.
who?
Like who's not getting like 25 touchdowns a
I'm
year?
pretty sure.
That's
I'm
a
pretty
good
sure.
quarterback.
I'm pretty sure Derek Carr like 25 this year. I know he got hurt.
Derek
though.
Carr
Yeah,
is
get
in
Derek
between
Carr
jobs
out of
right
here,
now.
bro. Yeah, get
Derek Carr is
outta
being
here.
paid
Stop
$40
it.
million. Hello.
You said good QB. You didn't
Well,
say
Daniel
high.
Jones is
Listen,
getting paid $40
Oh
million.
my God.
What does that
Like
mean?
that?
all right, I'm not gonna
Disrespect Derek Carr
disrespect
like that. He's
but
better than Daniel
but-
Jones.
Derek Carr
You
is
sure?
really the example you're about to use. Nah, Daniel
Derek Carr
Jones is better than Carr,
Daniel
bro.
Jones.
They get the
I
same
don't know about
checks.
that.
They get the same check.
They get the same shit.
I
like Daniel
won't
Jones,
agree
but-
with Carr. Can you bring up another one?
All right, my mind is escaping me. So let me look.
Just bring it up from last
Look
year.
at 22 stacks.
Yeah. Touchdown.
My homeboy, 41 touchdowns.
Look, we gotta skip him, bro. What are you talking about?
Oh, yo,
Whoa.
this man disconnected.
Whoa. What just happened? I
Most
thought I
def-
got disconnected for a second.
He most definitely accidentally like exited out the StreamYard tab or
That's what it
something,
seems
bro.
like.
He's gonna be
So
back.
my
He gonna be
homeboy
back.
had 41. Josh Allen had 35. Let's go down to the let's look at the quarterbacks that had below 25. Derek Carr, Dak Prescott didn't play the whole year. Jalen Hurts didn't play the whole year. He had 22. Andy Dalton, Lamar Jackson didn't play the whole year. Russell Wilson was horrible. There are not many good quarterbacks that had less than 25 that didn't get injured. Jared Goff through 29. Kirk Cousins through 29. Geno Smith through 30. We got KB back.
I thought I started a new tab and I actually used this tab.
You
to-
exit out of the tab.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess you were reading it off. There was a lot of quarterbacks that have less than have 20, 25 and less than that. A lot of
Yeah,
Yeah, but
but
they
he
weren't
also
good.
brought up this. Yeah, he brought up they were either weren't good or they were injured.
Justin Herbert is a social media quarterback.
Justin Herbert had 25. Tom Brady had 25.
Old man Brady, stop.
Trevor
it.
Lawrence at 25. Jalen Hurts at 22. Tua had 25. He was always had a concussion. Carr had
Tua needs to
24.
retire, man.
Carr had 24.
So, but what we were saying, we were saying less than 25. These guys at least got to 25.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, I said 25.
It seems like once you get to 24, you're bad. Derek Carr, Dak Prescott, he was injured.
Yeah, you
Jalen
gotta
Hurts
have-
was injured.
you gotta have.
Yeah,
at
Jalen
least
Hurts was
20
injured.
At least 25.
And then you got Andy Dalton, Justin Fields, who figured out how to throw the football in week 10. Lamar Jackson.
Yeah. I want him to get around because adding the rushing touchdown, I want him to get at least 25 at least 25 passing. 25 to 28 passing, I'll be happy with.
Yeah.
30 would be over my expectation, and I'll be extremely happy with. But if he gets over 30, I expect him not to have a lot of rushing touchdowns because there's no way Daniel Jones is capable of getting like 40 total touchdowns. I just don't see it.
I guess I'm the only, I guess I'm the one with the highest expectations for passing touchdowns there because you said 25 28. I'm saying like 28 to 32.
Because
Listen, he's got the
remember, if he
weapons
gets
to do it.
32 touchdowns, how much rushing touchdowns do you expect him to have?
He could still have a lot. What's preventing him
4.
from getting a lot of rushing touchdowns?
Him!
What's
Him!
What did Russell Wilson say?
Listen,
sorry,
don't
do we
forget.
think this
Hold
guy
on,
is
no.
Patrick Mahomes
No,
now?
I
Is that
have
what
an
you're saying?
actual response. I have an actual response. So then fine, he won't get it. He could still be a running threat and not get those rushing touchdowns because hopefully we actually use these other running backs like we were talking about during the stream.
Yeah.
Hopefully those rushing
What did Russell
touchdowns go
Wilson
to those
say?
running backs.
Why not us? Why not us? Why not Daniel Jones?
Here's the thing.
If Daniel Jones throws for
Daniel
40
Jones-
touchdowns, man, like
For Daniel Jones to have
I didn't say 40 now. I didn't say no 40.
total touchdowns. You just said 32 passing touchdowns. And if he had the same amount of rushing touchdown this year with 8, it's 40.
I never said the same amount of rushing touchdowns. Stop putting words
That's
in my
what I
mouth.
said. So you think his rushing touchdowns are going to go down? I asked you that. You said no.
And then what
and he
did
said,
I
why
just
should they
say?
have to go there?
And then what did I say, KB? I just said, actually, let me pull back because we should be involving our
recant
running
that
backs
statement.
more.
Recant that.
I already did. Are you
Thank
sped?
Thank you.
My bad.
Thank you. Yo, cancel this man right now. Cancel
no.
this man right now.
I just realized I said that on live,
you are
bro.
finished.
For the $5 super chat, it says Carr better than who? Carr
It's
should have
over.
had like 35.
It's over.
It's over right now, bro. It's over.
It's Jover. It's Jover. I'm so sorry.
It's Jover.
I can't even say
there's
we
no
are
way Derek
Barack.
Carr should have had 25 touchdowns throwing to Devontae Adams. That's ridiculous.
But no, like I was saying, I still think he can be a running threat as a QB and not have those rushing touchdowns. I would prefer him not to have it. I would prefer for that to go to the combination of Saquon and Breida or Saquon and Gray or Breida and Gray, however they do it. I want to see these guys get used.
Here's my only thing is like I said it as a joke, like he's keeping him from doing it, but you guys gotta understand, like anywhere close to 40 touchdowns, if you look at like the games of these quarterbacks that are doing that, like total touchdowns, not like just passing touch, just total touchdowns, they are consistently moving the ball downfield. Consistently. I don't know if Daniel Jones can do that yet, no matter how much weapons he has. I just don't know if he can. I know he's capable of it.
I hope he can.
Yeah, I just hope he can. But you guys, we can't set those huge expectations, those above like elite expectations. He's getting paid $40 million, but let's remember, $40 million is not even elite quarterback money anymore. It's just upper tier quarterback money. So we can't expect him to be a Joe Burrow or a Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, he's like 40. Number 10 and number 12.
Right. There's no middle ground for quarterback contracts, and we all know that. So
what is it? Stop the misinformation. There is a middle ground. It's 40 million. It's just gone up.
It's just exactly.
It's not 20 million anymore. It's
exactly. There's no median. Yeah. There's no median. There's just you're either paid like a backup or you're paid like a top tier guy. That's just it is what it is. So
yeah. So
before we close
I'll
out,
just close it out with like I'll let you say what you're gonna say. But if Daniel Jones throws for 35 touchdowns and hits over 40 touchdowns, I'm gonna be
if he does that, I'm gonna do something strange, bro. I'm gonna
do something strange.
I'm gonna do some heinous, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I'm gonna get DJ a girlfriend, bro. I'm gonna get DJ a girlfriend so we can celebrate.
He can have Will Levis's girlfriend, bro, if he does.
Bro, I found her.
You did? You gotta send me the IG account. Because I spotted her before KB did, and when I said it, he didn't know who it was.
She's
a famous TikToker.
She's a media influencer. She's a sports influencer, and I saw her on TikTok, and she was doing an interview, like a street interview. I said, I know that girl.
Yeah, all she does is just post about Will Levis.
Yo, I follow you on TikTok. All right, you better send that account to me.
Yo, I never look at my sports account TikTok's DMs, but this man be wild.
Listen,
you
better DM me.
Kush, you better not do me wrong because I will leak those DMs, Kush.
Just send me send me the profile. That's all I need. But no, Diggy, if Daniel Jones does what you said he's gonna do, I will do something that would make me unforgettable on YouTube, bro. That's all I'm gonna say.
You heard it here first. Daniel Jones throws for over 40 touchdowns.
Clip this. Somebody clip this. I hope Daniel Jones throws for 41 touchdowns. I swear. Please.
Yeah, he's gonna have an amazing season. He's gonna be at 39 touchdowns in the last game, and it's gonna be all rushing touchdowns.
Bro, if we get to the 1 yard line, I hope Saquon just like I hope he gets hurt for that play, and they have to use Daniel to throw it. I swear.
Tyrod Taylor's gonna come in and throw it, boy.
All right. Well, we're gonna wrap it up right here. Appreciate both of y'all for coming on. I don't know if you all want to announce anything. I know KB just dropped a video.
Yeah.
Or is editing the video.
Yeah, I'm be editing my draft video. If you guys, I've been trying to post some more NFL Central stuff, but I think I'm gonna more gravitate towards my TikTok. So you guys can check out my TikTok, same username as you see right there. I can't. It's flipped, so I can't say
Yep,
right there. Check out my TikTok. I do more NFL centric stuff, and I just posted a winners and losers for the draft on my account, on my YouTube account. But I got the New York Giants draft video, a full analysis coming out probably either tomorrow or the day after that.
I don't really have anything to put out. Like I said at the beginning of the stream, I'm still gonna be mostly MIA until graduation, and then even then, I'm gonna be like very very busy with a job, unfortunately. But the thing is, over the summer, I should have time to stream again. It's unfortunate because the best part of YouTube for me, and I think the best part without out of my channel, was the videos that I had time to put a lot of work into. Like, it was both a hobby and it taught me a lot of skills over the years. But now I might just have time to stream, which I don't mind too much, but it's definitely going to be like a change from what the channel was just a year ago. But yeah.
Shout out to Pandemonium for another $5 super chat. He says, "Do you know the Giants were 6th in the league with drop passes? How many of those could have been touchdowns?" Probably like 3 or 4 of them, maybe 2 or 3. I don't know, but I do remember seeing at least. I do remember Darius Slayton dropped a dime in the back corner of the end zone from Daniel Jones when it was just like, and I was like, I wasn't that familiar with your game, Daniel. He dropped one of those passes. And then Marcus Johnson dropped a wide open touchdown.
Oh my God! And Daniel Jones got it was two of them. The Jacksonville game.
That was
the Green Bay game. The Jacksonville and then Green Bay.
Daniel Jones said, "Catch the." Yeah, that's the Daniel Jones I want to see.
Yeah, that when he got angry.
I wanted to see. I was so happy.
By the way, this man,
after he said, "Why would you throw that?"
Oh yeah.
By the way, this man, he definitely lives in like the basement of the training facility or something. He's always there.
Yeah, he's just like he just comes out and shakes hands and sends out flyers for a meeting in Arizona to throw the ball.
I'm telling you, I don't know if what you call it. Remember, like we always
you're laughing like you're about to say something crazy.
we always make the joke. I know, like I make the joke all the time because I pointed out to KB years ago. I was like, after this man lost his girlfriend, he wasn't the same. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing anymore because he clearly needs a girlfriend with the amount of time he spends in the facility, bro. Like, he needs to do something other than football.
Hey, but this man went all the way. He
can go to media classes or acting classes.
At the same time, though, like this man's putting in work constantly. Like, I don't know.
Oh my God.
Lifting weights. But we're gonna wrap it up right here. Appreciate you all for coming on and appreciate everybody in the chat for keeping it going.
Of course, man. This was great. This was really fun. I had a lot of fun, man. Thank you guys so much.
All right.